Hi friends, this is the Be Real Babe podcast, a place where your average Canadian wolfpack come together to talk about life stresses, messes, and successes. A safe space where being yourself is the ultimate goal. Each week we will bring you new episodes sharing our opinions on a ton of different topics in hopes we can get a better understanding of ourselves, each other, and this crazy world we live in. We want to build a community where we can show up as ourselves, be real, and lay it all out there. By sharing our opinions and experiences, we hope to reach others who can relate so we can all help each other learn, grow, and heal. But please keep in mind, as a disclaimer, none of us here are professionals, no one is giving any advice. We are strictly speaking of our life experiences, our opinions, and for entertainment purposes only. Now, with that being said, it's time. So grab your drink, grab your joint, and let's jump right in. Welcome everyone. Welcome to Being Real With. This is a segment of the Be Real Babe podcast where we talk to our friends, family, guests, communities about real life experiences and getting back to the core of what we love doing, connecting with people, talking about real life experiences so we can all learn, grow, heal. You know the drill. This episode, y'all, is episode 115, Being Real With the Babes. And guys, I'm so freaking excited. If you guys don't know me, my name is Brandy. I am the host of the show. And today, you guys, we have all four of us in studio. It is amazing. It's been about a month since we launched season 5, and we haven't been all together since. So busy. So great for us to get on today. I'm so excited for you guys to hear this episode. And our topic of the day is body image. Now, we have talked about this on the show in the first season. I think it's like episode 3 and 4, and we did bring it back around the 20s to talk about body image with our friends in the fitness industry. And this one, you guys, is all of our babes. Now, you guys will remember from the past episodes learning a little bit more about me and Kayla, but you guys haven't had a chance to get to know Dee and Hales as much as you guys have gotten to know us. So we're so excited to bring them on to this portion of the show so you guys can get to know them a little better. And what is really cool, you guys, is that it's kind of split down the middle with 2 of us having the same experiences and the other 2 kind of having different and opposite. And it's just really amazing to honor each other's experiences, validate it, and share all the wins. So this episode is very, very special. I cannot wait for you guys to hear it, but I'm going to shut the fuck up before I go, though. I'm going to remind you, if you are watching on Rumble or YouTube, please make sure to subscribe, turn on those notification bells, hit that like button now if you can. If you are on the audio platforms, make sure you're following us. And if you can, leave us a review. Apple gives you the ability to leave a review. It means so, so much to us. And if you are interested at all on being on the show and having your own segment of Being Real With, we're always here for it. Shoot us a message and make sure you're following us on our socials. We have an Instagram page, Be Real Babe Podcast. We're also on Pinterest. There's tons of views over there, which is so awesome. And we're also going 100% full in on Facebook this season. As much as we hate that platform, it still has a lot of you, and we always want to be connected to you. So make sure you're following us on all the platforms. Turn on all of the notifications, like all the videos if you can, share, tag, all the fun things. But I'm going to shut the fuck up so we can get into this absolutely dope episode with all 4 of our babes. So excited. Let's get to it. All right, babes, it's time to get on to the show. And y'all, we are so excited. It is the first Being Real with all 4 of us. I'm so pumped. For those that cannot see us in studio today, I have my babe Hales. Hey, Hales.
Hey.
Have my babe Dee. Hey, Dee.
Hey.
And I have my OGK. Hey, babe.
Hola, motherfuckers.
Listen to this. All 4 of us reuniting after a month since our last one. It's so exciting.
They're always
Thanks
so
for
fun.
coming back. I know. It is so fun. I'm glad that we're just like, we have to make this one because this is a really important one because me and Kayla have talked about this before, the very first season, and we haven't come back, really. We did it twice. We did like a body image, and then we did fitness, and then we haven't come back. So
yeah, but not with us. Like, I'm excited about that. It's just like, and the 4 of us too, and other perspective of body dysmorphia and challenge issue, blah blah.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice because we've done this and we've been all of the like being real with like back in the thing, but Dee and Hales, this is a new one for you guys.
Newbies.
The newbies too. Well, Hales went through her first one, right? And pregnancy through the pandemic, 109. That one was amazing.
People are loving that one.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. It is.
It's relatable.
So
there's a lot of pregnant people. I knew a lot of pregnant people during the pandemic.
Oh my gosh.
It seemed anyways.
Yeah, and two, because we're all sitting at home watching each other too, so I'm not sure if that was amplified, but it was just like, yeah, and they're also, everyone's banging during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It kind of makes sense. It's like the baby boom of the 60s. It'll be the
No
2020
kidding.
pandemic boom. We'll change it from COVID babies to pandemic boom babies.
The corona
Sounds
boom.
a little bit better. Yeah,
Corona
the corona
boom.
boom.
I like Corona Boom.
Yeah. It sounds a little bit better. It sounds funner, like something like a drink that you would get at a resort or something like that.
Yeah. Not like life sucking and
Yeah. And depressing. Yeah. So, yeah, guys. I think what was cool about this topic is that we've already kind of always talked about this and how we'll all be so understanding to each other's, even though we don't always relate in the same way, but it's just like, holy shit, every one of us has had such ridiculous experiences, even some same or different. So I'm excited.
Is that little feet?
I hear not maybe.
Do I hear little feet running?
Is
Okay,
that-
I love it. I'm like, is that Evie? Oh.
I'm
Sorry,
like
my headphones
following
are so
her in my
loud.
head. I'm like, I wonder if they can hear that. That's really loud.
I
Oh
love
my
this.
gosh.
Hey, we've
So
had
cute.
we've had tons.
She
of
still
in the
needed to make
background.
an appearance, even if it wasn't in
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
She needed to
Yeah.
be
Mom,
here.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
too
Mommy,
good.
Mama,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. She's been a co-host, so she just
Love
wanted
it.
everyone. Evie is also in the house today.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
Upstairs. All right, guys, let's
Oh.
dive into this one, because I think what's going to be cool is I think everyone's going to be able to relate to every one of us in different ways. So let's get started. Hales, let's start with you. At what age did you start to notice your body when it comes to image, and what was it that you noticed?
Honestly, I feel like mine would have started. I gotta think now. I'm gonna say like the 5th grade, very lightly, where you start caring about what you look like, what you're wearing, what you're like dressing like, and trends become more influential. So yeah, what's that, like 10?
Yeah.
9, 10.
5. Fuck yeah, that's early.
It wasn't so intense. I'd say like 13 for like full blown teenage like pressure,
Actually,
but
give a
I'd say
fuck.
start noticing it was probably about 10. Yeah.
Yeah, like people around you, and you started noticing, like maybe not like a judgment, but just like being aware.
Well, just
of, like,
you're aware
people
of it, and
changing.
it's starting to become a thing where like people comment or people like, you know what I mean? There's like standards for things are becoming present and like obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that teenage, the preteen, like heavy emotions too. It's like I have to fit in. Right?
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
It's like, what's everyone doing? It's kind of like that nature. Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah, Evie's probably coming downstairs. I can hear her downstairs. She's fine. Downstairs. Yeah, no, I'd say for sure it starts pretty young though. Like I feel like for the generation before us, it had to have been later.
Yeah, I think
Like,
so. I think they're.
I
able
feel
to
like
be
nowadays
kids.
it's like 7 or 8. Like,
Oh, my
God.
son. Yeah, he's 7,
Yeah.
and honestly, I go in his room and I'll pick stuff out for him to wear because I'm that mom, trying to help but also be controlling.
yeah.
And he will come out and he will go, "I'm not wearing that," and I'm like, "Why? Like, what's wrong with it?" He's like, "I want to wear what I want to wear," and like it's mixed match socks and like
I was
different
huge
colors,
on
you know. So he
mixed
just
match
he's his
socks.
own person.
He's just being him, though. I love it.
It's fine.
Yeah, I was huge on that when I was a kid. Mixed matched socks,
a weird
especially
word to
toe
say.
socks.
Oh, toes.
Oh my gosh, no, thank
Toe
you.
socks.
I hate toes.
Took 8 minutes to get them
toes.
on, but
Yeah.
Yeah, look at my
Worse
toes.
than gloves, each individual toe.
literally, and like they weren't comfortable, to be honest. Like you felt those in between.
You did, yeah.
So
That's
funny.
a nightmare I don't want to live in. But
Anyways, I'm sorry.
anyways, what Hales, what was it that you started to notice on yourself first? Do you remember?
Oh, okay. So 10, it wasn't so much that, it was more of like the styles and like dressing and like acting certain ways. I feel like body wise, that would have been like 13, 14, so like junior high, and it was boobs weren't big enough because boys love big boobs, and I was really like insecure about like my skin, like face skin, back skin, shoulders, chest, like back, knee, and chest, like that kind of stuff was starting to get shamed, and it was like so uncomfortable because like kids like, hold on, Nick, bring her down here. But no, I'd say like it was more like it was skin issues and then body issues kind of meld into that with like I was bigger than other kids. Not always, but like I'm not like a stick, that's for sure. So like I had a lot of like insecurities for sure. So okay, I'm just gonna go over there with her. So yeah, I'd say 13, 14, like junior high for sure. Junior high, easy.
Such a crazy time.
Especially when a lot of friends had like developed and hit like spurts and like height started coming into play and like people started thinning out or like getting a little bit heavier. Like it was just the independence of getting to eat lunch. Like we had like a lot of restaurants around, so you go eat out a lot and like it was more of like it starts with the mental for sure, like having to fit in and be like cool and like more of like what you say and do, and then what you wear.
Hi, baby.
And then what you wear and all that becomes a little more like, I don't know,
important,
involved,
focused.
You know,
yeah, totally. I think everyone can kind of relate. It's like you start noticing, and then all of a sudden, it's like you start picking, and then getting like hyper focused on. And
what
then
about
that's
you
all
guys?
you think about. Yeah, Dee, what about you?
Mine started really, really young, like grade 1, grade 2. I was just like a really, really big kid, and it's not like anybody was like mean at that age yet or like made really comments, but it was more so everybody around me, like I was even bigger than my mother, sharing pants with her at like 5, you know? She was like obviously extremely tiny, but like things like that just, and like all my sisters being absolute twigs and like parents.
It's hard when you have
you.
people in your family that are complete opposites or just people in your everyday life that are just like complete opposites.
And then they make comments about themselves and then it's like well, I'm over here like, well, okay. You know, like...
I remember it's comments you hear about like, oh, you've gained weight to someone that's like half your size. It's like, oh my god, what do they think about me then? Like, is this a joke?
Or my mom like, oh my gosh, I weigh 114 now, and I'm like 120 in grade 5. You know what I mean? It's like just little things like that weren't purposeful kind of thing, but like,
but they stick with you.
Sure. They got to me at a really, really young age, and like always, like I was just fed so much bad crap, and like, it was very young.
That's very fair. So you had to go that. I hate it's like I hate that we all went through this in these kind of different ways. Like it sucks, but I think it's kind of all shaped us, hopefully now for the better.
For
to
sure.
See, you know,
oh yeah.
Like
learn and grow important.
I was gonna say you grow and you you learn quick absolutely. And you develop thick skin. Unfortunately, not always, but.
Yep, absolutely. And I think too, it's so. Anyways, it's interesting. Kay, what about you? How old do you think you were? For those that haven't listened to the first episode, but goes back to those.
So it's just like, I don't know, with me it was different because I didn't share the same skin tone as my parents. And so I think I just always knew like I was different than them, and I was okay with it because my parents were really good. I don't think anything really crazy started happening until, what was it, grade 7? I think I started getting boobs in grade 7, and then I don't know. I just like, they were just like perfect, perky little boobs, and I loved them. And
puberty's a bitch, though.
Yeah.
I had a really like, I don't know. I feel like an asshole for saying this, but like I was kind of blessed. I didn't get acne. I didn't really get bugged about shit like that. It was just like stuff about that I was self-conscious about because I didn't look like the other girls. Like I didn't have blonde hair. I didn't have blue eyes. I didn't have like porcelain skin. And so I always felt like I stood out so differently, and it took me such a long time to understand that my unique qualities were what actually made me beautiful. And into my like adulthood, it took me a long time to figure that out. But I would say it really started probably like in like high school, when I went into a high school where it's grade 9 to grade 12. You got 18-year-old boys in there with 14-year-old girls. Everyone's wearing the fucking top brands. Like it was just crazy.
Yeah, clothes was a thing for sure.
Yeah.
That
was crazy.
Huge.
Yeah.
And like I didn't have I had one friend who, like, I wasn't muscular. I was really like, I don't want to say petite, but I was just lean. Like I was like a string bean almost, I would say. Yeah. But I had another girlfriend who did gymnastics, and I remember my dad telling me, he's like, you know, he was saying something about her muscles because she was very built. And he said, you know, girls are going to want to look like her when they're out of high school. He's like, she is like her genetics are great. Like,
Mhm.
and then I started thinking about that. I'm like, I wish I was a little more muscular. And then all these kinds of things just kind of snowballed. And
Mm-hmm.
it was a really strange time. Like, I always wanted to be stick thin. And then I realized that that's not what I want, because I want to have a big butt and all the things. And
It's funny how
yeah,
it's the
I don't know. It
comments not
started
said
early.
directly or not said in
It's
like
indirectly.
those terms. It's total
In
indirect things
passing.
that just stick with you for like
And
ever.
comparison to everybody around you and stuff too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm
I
Steve
hate
Urkel.
that
That's
game,
cool.
the compare game. We
It's
play
fine.
it so hard.
Yeah,
We do
absolutely.
every day, every day.
Yeah, that doesn't go away. I don't feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
I
that's
don't
always going
think
to be
so.
there. I think that's part of human nature. I don't necessarily think it's always a bad thing. You know, like I think we could probably all look back at times where we weren't maybe taking care of ourselves and be like, yeah, no, I was not in a good time. Like you can have
Many
those
times.
times, but yeah,
Many,
but it's
many.
you
In
know
a
it's
ditch,
Fuck.
drinking. Lord knows why it was.
Yeah. Those memes, waking up in a
those
field.
days. Yeah.
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 Missing an eyebrow, you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, great, interesting.
And a shoe
Um,
and a toenail. You know, like it just whatever. Oh, how about you, B?
Yes, tell us.
Well, so this is the interesting part sitting back and listening because I think I kind of more relate to Kayla in the sense, you know, where it's like I was also like just small and tall. And I think the thing that is interesting is that I've always felt like I can't talk about it because I would say that my body or what I was at was be say like what you girls would say you'd look around and want to have that and
Mhm.
feel worse about yourself because of how I was just born. And so this is going to sound really stupid, but maybe kind of, but when you grow up with people around you in your environment or your friends or your family and they want said your body and then they hate theirs, you start to resent your body and your looks because it is
Yeah.
bringing discomfort and unhappiness to other
Bang
people
on.
and you don't quite understand that, and so then you start self-hating
My body
and
is a
being
burden.
like yes, and start picking out, but these are all the reasons why I'm not perfect and why I'm not all those things, and doing that at a very young age because my mom was 19 when she had me and my grandmother was 16 when she had my mom, and my mom is the oldest, so when I was born my aunts were very young, so I was growing up around my aunts as they were going through their teenage years, as well as my mother in her early 20s, as well as my grandmother only being in her 30s. So
Wow. Okay.
there was no like necessarily awareness of those comments about themselves, again, bless their hearts. And
Yeah.
so for me it was like, for example, my mother would never think that she was beautiful, and so she wanted to correct that for me by
Mhm.
and love her, I know what she was trying to do, by over complimenting me and telling me how beautiful I am and all those things, where I was like, again, that beauty makes people upset, quote unquote, and I don't feel that way, so I don't understand, and then people would treat me different and be like, oh, you don't understand. And so I think that I didn't have an eating disorder where I wouldn't not eat. I think just subconsciously, because everyone was so focused on gaining weight and not being that I was just like, I don't need it, I'm fine. And it wasn't like I was doing it on purpose. I think I just kept so busy that it wasn't important, and I was always small, and everyone always hated me for that, whether that was in my family or my friends. And it was just like, I don't
Yeah.
want this because no
Yeah.
one likes me because of this. And I'd get like, I got off on a ticket once, and then someone was like, oh, it's because you're pretty. And this is like, I'm looking at myself going, I don't think that at all.
What?
What the fuck are you talking about? You know? And so I've always been like, but I'm funny, but I'm this. So I've always tried to like overdo stuff
We're our harshest critics, so we always
yeah,
have
man. And
layers
so
of
and
it.
then people would be like, oh, that pretty girl is complaining, or that skinny girl, or whatever, like that's so stupid. And you're just like, oh wow, I shouldn't have any trauma or body dysmorphia. So it's a really fucked up thing to talk about
It
because
is.
you're kind of told that like your problems aren't problems because other people view you in a different light than you do. And I just think it's
Yeah.
so unfair because I was so unhealthy, like, you know, especially when I was teaching classes. I was teaching so many cardio classes, and I was so skinny, and people would be like, I want your body, and I'm like, no, you don't, like, you don't.
No.
But yeah, I think same way as you guys, like environment I started noticing at a young age, again because my aunts were teenagers, my mom
Yeah.
was you know, in her 20s, that it was a very big focus. And so I
Well,
think
that was
I
the
came
time with
very aware.
magazines
Well,
and
that's when all the influence
models
came out
and,
hard.
you know,
Airbrushing.
Playboy, all that, yeah.
Yeah.
So and then as teenagers grew, it just amplified because it was, again, the brand names were from a small town. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone knows if you're poor. So then you try to
for
buy
sure.
brands to like keep
Yep.
up with
I
the
think it's
Joneses.
funny because we would all suffer from there's not a blonde among us. So we're all
Literally.
100%.
we want the blonde
Playmate.
hair, blue eye, big boobs,
Big
like
tits.
tiny waist, huge ass. Like that's
Yeah.
our generation of what we grew up with. Actually, it started with the super skinny, like supermodel era. I feel like in the like 90s,
Paris
90s.
Hilton's
Victoria's
too.
Secret.
But then it's
Yeah.
like
Early
evolved
20s,
into
Nicole
like
Richie.
like Nicki Minaj type Kim Kardashian garbage.
Well,
but,
the Nicki
But now you
Minaj
don't
is
even know. They
so
change their mind all the time
well,
of
and
what
then they took them out, and
you
then
should
that's
look
not
like.
what it is anymore. So it's just we're immediately put on the conveyor belt from day one.
100%. And this is why I didn't microblade my eyebrows. No offense to anybody, but I'm like, okay, I went through the 90s with like the thinnest, or the 2000s with the thinnest eyebrows on earth.
Yeah.
I am not getting big ones, like, because, right?
Dude,
I had none.
The
Aniston.
pencil.
The over tweezed.
I had none,
pencils.
so like I think I like
I-
shaved them off, so I had to microblade mine. I'm like, I need to get them fixed.
But you didn't get yours ridiculous though. Like some of these women are getting them like not to be
Yeah.
like that, but trends always change. So like change
Oh,
them because you generally like it.
I
not
had
because
to
it's
because
a
mine
trend.
were patchy.
I
I haven't
you
done
guys
it
are
since.
getting like, but
you know those
you're
ones where they
natural.
brush them up?
Yes.
She's telling Kitty to get out of the.
Yeah, she's telling Kitty to get out of the.
Get out, Kitty.
Go away.
She's so
Kitty,
mad
please.
too.
Thanks, Evie.
Yeah, thanks for looking out.
She's
kid.
got us. Yeah.
Yeah. Go.
I'm tired of you.
Go.
I'm tired
Yeah.
of you.
All done.
I love that. Her words are coming out
So
so
cute.
quick nowadays. It's hilarious.
So
Anyways.
good. Anyway, so let's go back. So Hales, what about your family environment? Was there like positivity, negativity?
So my family on my dad's side I'm about the average height of the women. My aunt is 5'8", I'm 5'7". So I've got my height from that side. And I've got I've got my height from my dad's side for sure. My face, like my nose, like I'm a Sutton immediately. I got recognized the other day because I look like my dad.
That's
Introvert.
so
Are you Haley? I'm like, yeah. She's like,
That's
I don't know
creepy.
your last name, but Sutton. I'm like, yeah. Like I'll accept that. It's not my last name, but it's my dad's. And she's like, yeah, I'm your grandparents' neighbor. I'm like, oh, hi. Like, Jesus. So like
Watch
I
you
do
all the
get
time
quite
when
a
you
bit
come
from
over.
my dad's, but my mom's side I definitely get quite a bit too, but I feel like that's more the mental stuff. So I don't know. I look like most of my family. Like I don't have anyone horribly small in my family. So my family environment's always been really good. I wouldn't say any of us are super skinny. Like we've always been like on the thicker side. So I've had like not support, but like no one's ever been. Yeah. I remember once at my mom's parents, I was eating donuts or something for breakfast, and my grandpa said to take it easy because he didn't want a fat granddaughter, and my grandma walked up and smacked him so hard against the back of the head and told him to shut up and I'll eat what I please. And like it wasn't from my family ever for sure, but yeah. But I adore Nick's family to death, but his family they're all tiny. And I think she's taking after her because I've heard tons of people say she's just kind of tiny for her age. But yeah, I love them endlessly. But sometimes being around them, especially when I'm not feeling like my best, I feel like a linebacker for any given NFL like team.
Any given
It's
day,
just-
any given Sunday.
yeah, it bums me out. But no, my family environment's actually been pretty good growing up. Everyone was very nice, like never bad. So
Never
I
the
was
focus.
thankful for that because yeah, it could have been, I don't know. I feel like there's so much worse, and I'm so thankful that I didn't have to do that because I feel like life is rough enough to not add family pressures on top of it. You're calling dad.
Yeah.
Cool. Why are you doing that? Sorry, Nick. Okay, we're not doing this.
No,
No. Sorry,
That's
guys.
awesome. That's good. Yeah, like you said, the outside world's already hard enough, so it's nice.
Yeah,
when it's
so
not that
I
added
was
pressure.
thankful that my family, my internal world wasn't terrible. However, I will side with D. Like, I love my family, and this is nothing against them, but like growing up, my mom was a single mom, and like my dad and stepmom weren't like loaded by any means, so we definitely like did not eat like super awesome all the time. My mom homemade a lot because she couldn't afford it, and like I did eat a lot of homemade stuff, but when all the boxed and ready prepared shit is cheap and affordable and you're a single
That's what you go
parent,
for.
so like we definitely didn't eat like the cleanest. But my mother won an award one year for best lunches, and it like made her entire
Love that.
everything. So
Oh my god, amazing.
I was pretty fortunate.
That's
So
amazing.
I hope that one of you doesn't break my heart and make me feel like an asshole for bragging about how nice my family
Absolutely.
was, but I'm sure someone will. So
Mine wasn't too good.
Oh no, D, you go.
Sorry, D.
Um,
I'm
yeah,
sorry, Dee.
mine. I mean, even still today, like it's a thought that's in my mom's head a lot. Not comments about like myself, but more like, oh my gosh, like this, did you see that person? They gained so much weight, or like, like it's just still a
It's funny how
thing
that's
that
always a
matters so much
big
and that
comment.
they have to talk about still. But whenever I was about 14-ish, which is what really like it hit me the most, and I started losing like a lot of weight because of it. And my stepmom had asked me if I needed that brownie when I went to go and have one. Yeah.
Bitch,
So that
please.
was kind of where that like really put me over the edge
I wish my
and
grandma was there to smack her
kind of
back
mentally
across the
fucked
back
me
of
up.
her head. That's
Yeah,
rude. Oh
wish
my
my dad would have
god.
said something, but
For real?
Right?
yeah,
He
we
didn't
really
say
butted
anything.
heads for a long time after that too. But
And what's
and
Of course
shitty
he
then I
about
did.
stopped
that is like
eating, lost about 80 pounds.
It's crazy
Ooh.
how, yeah,
that one
like,
comment just held on. Like it made
Hmm.
it, and I'm not saying that
I'm sorry, dude, that
there's just
sucks.
different ways to talk to anybody about those kind of things.
For
And I think
sure.
the biggest conversation would have been like, has she been set up successfully
Hmm.
to make healthy choices, to understand,
Exactly. And that's
I
the thing,
had
it's
no
never about
idea about
health,
food. No. And
No,
I never
it's all
understood the
about the way
value
you
of
look.
food. Yeah, it's about the way you
Convenience
look. The
and
convenience, cheap
price
though,
and,
Yeah.
yeah.
They would say
price. I was
eat
the same
less,
way.
not eat different options, things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's not true.
Eat
You
less
Hmm.
of the
actually
same
should eat
garbage.
more,
Yeah.
but you should eat more of the good things, right? So it's like
Mhm.
that's where it frustrates me. It's like they can
Hmm.
have these, not just you, but like people can have these comments to their kids, but it's like, but you're bringing them to McDonald's every weekend.
Now being a
You know,
For
parent,
sure.
there is no way. Like, I just knowing what we have gone through and like the struggles that girls went through, like in our generation, I will not
Hmm.
like. I try and like. I've been conscious of calling her smart, brave, funny, and all that before I call her pretty.
Hmm.
Like I've seen those cliches on memes and all that, but like, I'm trying to like,
Hmm.
focus away from body
just
issues, man,
looks.
because
Yeah.
we come by it so naturally with our environments and like just the outside world that like,
Hmm.
yeah,
And they need to
it's
just know that they're loved,
I could
because
never,
that's
Yeah.
a
like I
lack of
could
something too.
never. It like makes me sad. Like I could never look. Do you need that? Like
No shit.
Jesus.
And especially most of it, is like a projection, right? Like it's probably
Hmm.
something inside, and it's just like,
She's probably
are you
jealous you could eat
marrying?
those brownies and she couldn't
Yes.
because she
Yeah.
didn't want to
Yes.
frickin'. I hate that.
I hate
It's
You're a
that
probably
too.
the
So
same.
kid. Like, give me a
definitely,
break.
okay, so we had one positive, one negative. Yes, sorry.
Balanced it
Someone made
out.
me
Sorry.
feel like less of a
We
dick.
balanced it out. I'm glad you can giggle about it now and laugh about it, but like it
It's
sucks. It
yeah.
sucks when you hear that. And I think that we all kind of like knew friends that went through that too. And you'd be around and like a parent would say that comment and you're just like,
Hmm.
and so I think for me too, I was just like, oh my God, I definitely, like I said, can never say anything about how I'm feeling, because like I don't
Yeah.
get comments like that specifically, but
Mhm.
it's just like, and you want to say
But
something, but it's
you
like
in
your friend's
reverse would have
parents. What do you
gotten
say?
eat something. You're
Oh,
wasting weight.
Hmm.
Eat something.
Yeah,
You're so
exactly.
tiny.
You're
So like
not going to
you
be able
get
to
the
have a
opposite, but
baby.
just the
Yeah.
same.
Opposite. Yeah.
Hmm.
Kay, what about you? I feel like it was probably good for you.
Yeah, it was I just wanna I'm really sorry, Danielle, that happened. That
That's okay.
actually made me cry. Like that is brutal. And I wish that you would have been my friend when we were that age because I was the kid that told parents to shut the fuck up. You are
Were
not
you?
my mom. You are not my mom. I do not live in your house. Try
You
and
are not
punish me,
Debbie.
Karen.
Yeah.
Try. Anyways,
Yeah.
my was pretty good. I feel like I was kind of put on a pedestal in a way. My whole entire family idolized the way that I looked, like completely. Always told that I was beautiful. Always complimented about something. Like every time, like it's weird to say this, but my dad was very like, you are the be all end
Golden child.
all. You are
Hmm.
everything, And I think in his own way, it was his way of like trying to pump me up. But my mom was very similar to like Brandy's mom. Brandy and I have a lot in common that way, where, and with even Danielle, like my mom was heavier, and still is, but like she always made little comments about it, and I really remember, um, like the way she'd be, oh, I'm too fat to wear that.
Mm.
She'd buy me
Absolutely.
clothes.
Don't
She'd be
take a
buying me
picture.
clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute for you. Like, I wish I
Yeah.
could wear things like that. And
Hmm.
it like,
Yeah.
like you said, it made me feel shitty
Yeah.
for being born the way I was born. And then
Mhm.
add in the fact that I have no fucking idea who I look like because I don't look like mom or dad.
Mhm.
I have no idea where it comes from. So I'm just mad. I'm mad that she hates herself enough to make those comments about herself, not realizing how impressionable I am. Because when you look at like the logic side of it, we're developing still
Yep.
in those times. We are still developing critically in our brain, and having things like that be said, like I can remember
leaves
shit
such
that
an
like
imprint.
horrible shit that got
It
said to
does.
me like when I was just a child, like a little
Oh, for
child.
sure.
So
Yep.
it's like, you know, I'm really careful. My son asked me, what did he say? He said, Mom, am I fat? And I looked at him and I was like, you're fucking stunning. Okay. You are absolutely stunning. You
Mhm.
are perfect as you are. And he's just like
Baby
cause,
fat. I got that a lot.
Yeah.
it's weird too because he watches Ryan and I meal prep and he knows we work out and all that stuff. So he's just like, he's very conscious of his body. And I'm like, you don't have to be. I'm like, you eat well. You have a lot of like
You're
Mhm.
active.
high
Like
metabolism,
you're
like
okay.
mom. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's good. And it's just like, I'm like, hearing him ask me that one day, I was just like, I really got to watch what the fuck I say about myself. Because here, I'm just going to repeat that cycle that made me so uncomfortable about my own mom.
Yeah.
Like, I love her to death. Like, I hope that if she sees this, I fucking love you, Mom. And it's nothing against you. It's just like,
No.
it's honest. It's an honest feeling. Like, the way you felt about yourself shaped how I felt about myself. And
Yeah.
so I was always constantly picking. I remember when my mom taught me, I don't know if it was her or someone, one of the aunts, somebody taught me to suck in.
Oh
And I
my
did
God,
that
I
for
did that at a
so
young age.
long. So long.
Mhm.
Suck chest out, like it's so awkward.
Yeah.
Why?
It's so awkward.
Like
Mhm.
I just
My
want to let it
boundaries.
hang out sometimes. Just let my
Yeah.
whatever. I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it so much to the point where like it just naturally happened.
Yeah, right? You
Like
just do it.
you just naturally try to suck in all the time.
I mean, when
And
you're
then
at the
if you
gym,
don't
it's
do
nice
it,
to hold your core, but like outside of that,
I
don't think
honestly
there's-
don't take photos like of my body ever for that. Like I hate it. And I do not like
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't for the life of me
Angles,
enjoy
Especially
looking at my
sideways.
body in a
Yeah.
photo. It
I wore
drives
shorts
me
to
up
the gym.
wall. But I like what I see in the
Yeah.
mirror
I'm
a
so
lot of the
proud of you.
time, which bugs me. And like walking around the house, there's some days where I'm like, okay, like what the fuck am I complaining about? Like I look perfectly
You're beautiful.
fine. But then you
Mhm.
get a photo of
You're
yourself
beautiful.
that day and it's like, okay,
What
so the
the
cameras
fuck?
add, what is it, 10, 20, 50 looking pounds?
Especially when
Because
it's a mirror
that is
pic and
not
it's like,
me.
how is this
Oh,
different?
Yeah. How is it
Right?
like it doesn't relay? Like that used
I'm
to drive
looking at
me
what it should look
nuts.
like. Why is this
Yeah.
different on the camera?
So
I feel
yeah,
that.
I still can't do photos of my body. Like it
Mhm.
drives me nuts.
I hope we can change that in this
I was
conversation
gonna say,
because you should.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say too. I challenge you guys to, because I'm the same way. Maybe different struggles, but same thing, right? Like I'm
Yep.
not a person that is away from picking myself apart.
Oh,
But I will
no.
say that there's a couple things that I've noticed that I did
Brandy
myself
went
when I
rogue.
started
B,
doing
if
it
you can
more.
hear
For
us still,
example,
you're
I used to
frozen.
be. Oh
There
no.
she is.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay,
there she is.
perfect. Well,
Beauty.
as long as you can hear me, we should be good. So like one thing that I noticed is like people, and I understand this for sure, I've been here, but get so upset about the scale and
sure.
The
let's say
number.
pictures, right? And the numbers.
Mhm.
So I would challenge people instead, and I know some people are like, smash the scale, it doesn't matter, da, da, da. Listen, you're always going to have pictures of yourself. You're always going to have the scale. It's always going to be something in your life. So I challenge people, if it's uncomfortable, do it fucking more. Do it so much that you so the thing is that we don't
But
see
not
ourselves
too
in
much, because that can be
pictures.
bad
No,
too.
no,
Yeah.
yes, but like
Yeah.
but if you're
Obsessed.
For
afraid
sure.
of it,
Don't be scared. Yeah, exactly.
don't be, but just don't be scared of it, because no
Yep.
matter, because then once you get that power of like, it doesn't matter what that scale says, I'm going to stand on it and not react,
Mhm.
that has lost its power over you, right?
Yeah,
So
yep.
pictures of ourselves,
It's how
we
you
don't see them
feel.
often,
Mhm.
right? But this is what you look like day in and day out. So other people, this is what you look like to them. You look amazing just
That's
the way
the
you
thing
are.
that gets
but
me
we don't
every
see the
time,
pictures,
too.
Yeah.
right?
You
So
see
it's
that
like,
picture
we
and I'm
don't
like, that's
treat
what
you
I
different.
fucking look like, because that's not what I thought I looked like at
Well,
all.
and,
Like
and it's
Yeah.
nuts because people see you differently. Like what you think you
Yes.
look like
That's
is not what you
true,
even look like,
though.
and it's so sketchy to me.
People see you so differently than what you like.
Like,
It
what do
drives
I
me
look like?
nuts. Yeah.
But that's what I mean, right? And so, like, for example, so for me, I'll go to my environment, but just like a quick side of why I'm saying this. So, I think you guys, I don't know if you're friends with me, when I kind of like helped a girl that was moving, she had a bunch of stuff, it got dumped at my house, and she was like, honestly, whatever got left over, just keep. So there's some bodysuits. So I was like, cool. So I put them on and I was like, oh, I want to see what this looks like. And I just got like my thing. So I'm like, oh, I'll do a video and see what these look like. And I got up and I could not look at my back half, like my ass. Like I was like, I don't know what happened from sitting the last year, but it just completely changed. And I was like, I don't even, but I was like, I've never looked at myself this way. I've never looked at pictures like this. So obviously I'm going to be like, this is disgusting. Like it wasn't just my body dysmorphia. It's because I never seen what my ass looked like from behind. So
How
I
often
seen
do you get
pictures,
to see your back
not
view,
often, right?
Yeah.
But since for the last 2 years now, I've been, it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sweetie.
It's okay.
So what I did, and you guys seen this through Patreon and through the last 2 years, is that I took progress pictures every week of every parts of my body, not in a flattering position, nothing like that. And now I do it every week to show up, not to analyze, but I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these
to
changes.
watch the
And now
change.
when I look at my back and what I see, anything, I don't get triggered by it anymore. Because I'm like,
Nice.
I've seen them so much over the last couple of years that I know that this is what my body looks like.
Yeah.
And I don't like
But
live
you can
and
also
breathe.
see
And I'm
the
not
hard
saying
work
that's
and
everyone.
change that you've
And you've
put
learned to
into it,
love
right?
yourself more
Yes.
too.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
thank
to
God.
see that it takes time and that it takes accountability. And every week I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this because I know I didn't eat good. I'm like, who fucking cares? It's your body and it's amazing and it deserves to have a picture of it.
Eat good the
Deserves
next
to look
day.
at its progress and move on. You know what I mean? And now I'm not afraid of it. The scale, I weighed myself for 2 years straight. It would fluctuate like 5-10 pounds.
Yep.
That's
I
it.
used to weigh
I don't
myself
need
every day. I
totals.
was so obsessed.
Yeah.
But
And
yes,
then it
definitely
would
there's an
because you
obsession.
drank too much water or something. And then I'm like, oh my God, I gained a pound.
Yeah.
How? I didn't even eat for 3 days. So how? You know, just dumb, unhealthy shit
Because you
like
don't
that.
understand how your body works then, right? You don't understand it's on survival mode and it's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
holding on to everything. That's what
Exactly.
skinny fat is. I was always like kind of skinny fat. And everyone's like, you're so skinny. I'm like, but I have this pouch because I'm not eating healthy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But anyways, I again grew up and with, like I had mentioned earlier, with a lot of young women at the height of where Playboy and all that was. So they were going through their body dysmorphia with zero awareness of that form of like mental illness. And then, yeah, at the same time, I am what they'd want to be. And it was just like a weird, like you said, your mom would be like, oh my God, I'm so fat, or don't take a picture of me, I look ugly. And I'd be
sure.
like, but
Yep.
you're so beautiful, Mom.
My
And so I'd be like,
stepmom
well, if
does
she
that.
thinks she's ugly, she must think I'm ugly. And then
Yeah.
I couldn't ever take a compliment for real because I'm like, you're just saying that to be nice. You don't mean it.
Yep.
And then it was just like, now I don't believe everyone and now I don't believe myself. And when guys would say I'm beautiful, I'm like, oh, you just want to fuck me. It's not about actually me being beautiful. You want something. So at an early age too, again, my stepdad was also very young. He's 10 years younger than my mother. So he was in his, early 20s looking at Playboy and had all these like strippers
Posters,
and Playboys and
yeah.
posters everywhere. And this is the ideal woman with big tits and blonde hair and blue
Yeah.
eyes. And I'm like, not saying I want my, but that's what I do. And I'm like, well, I am so far from that. My boobs never came in. And so it was like, nothing was done directly or said to me besides, like you guys said, eat food. That especially came later in life, especially in my 20s. But it was like, you're so pretty, you should model. Why don't you model? And everything was just focused on my looks. And I was just like, oh my God.
Hyper
Kill me.
focused.
It's
Yeah.
never,
Yeah.
you're so smart, you're so brave, you're so
No.
courageous.
My mom did that too. I will give that. She did a lot of that as well. I would say like they're pretty good, but it was just not the awareness of that toxic positivity of like, you should model. And like, I didn't feel comfortable like that. It felt weird. And it was like, well, you should, cause you're pretty. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to though, So
It's funny
very
how
good,
like I got a
but-
lot of that with Edie. Oh, she's so cute. You should put her in child modeling. It's like
Fuck
no.
off.
Why is it the
No.
be all
Yeah.
end all? I don't
Literally.
understand that. Like, no, I don't want that. So yeah, I think all of us can say that we definitely, by what our parents did, whether
For sure.
positive or not, definitely had a reflection. My mom would never be in
Yeah.
photos. And I'm like, I'm not going to post these on social media, but can you please just take the fucking picture with me? Because I want that memory.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I get it, but like, I urge everyone that's on here. I know this is a big thing for moms, especially right after
You gotta
having
watch
babies,
what
but
you
just
say,
take
right?
what would you say, but also take the pictures, guys. You don't have to post them.
For
You don't
sure.
have to anything,
Yep.
but listen,
For
when
you.
someone
Yep.
passes away, that's all you fucking have. And I'm not trying to be that way, but there's nothing worse than going through and not having photos of someone because they were so afraid that they were ugly or they weren't deserving
So
of that
self-conscious,
memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so self-conscious, like do that for your kids. Like I'm going to say that my mom, she does them all the time now. And, we'll take silly selfies and do all that, but it's been that. So let's go on next. So Hales, I'll go to you. What are some ridiculous body standards you've tried to receive since noticing these things?
That I've tried to like achieve myself.
Yeah.
Okay. I used to
My your
tan a
body doesn't
lot.
like that.
Because
Oh,
tanning was the be end all. I'd
Oh
go
my God,
during
the
my
remember?
worst.
spares at school. Like I was like bad. I lived right next to one. It was my favorite one ever. I still like can picture it in my head. It was my favorite tanning
Smell it.
salon ever. So
Yeah.
tanning was one of them. I tried to be super skinny because we were in the low rise jean era,
Ah,
and
yes.
if you didn't look like
Can't
Christina
have
or Brittany
them
and
love
have
handles hanging over.
yeah, it was not a cute look. So I was like trying to be skinny, even
No,
though like
honey.
I didn't do anything crazy, but like that's what I wanted. Like it was what I strive for. So I didn't like I wouldn't skip like tons of meals because I'm a foodie. Like I can't for the life of me. Like I get
I
so
love
hungry and I'm just
I
like
need
I'm
food.
done with this. I need to eat
Yeah.
something. Like
Yeah.
but I also was the kid that like my mom worked later than school, like my school let out. So I'd go home and like make a whole like Betty Crocker like chocolate cake to myself and eat it before she got home. Or like I would like make a whole bag of like brownies or like cookies and like eat them all before she got
Just
home.
eat them.
So like I was huge on eating. So yeah, so like I wanted to look that way, but like did not. I went the opposite pretty much. So yeah, tanning, just weight in general. I don't know, like I like was very much on board with like the mental effects of it, but like I was never the one to go like overboard or like I've never had an eating disorder, so I don't know what that's like, or maybe I did, I don't know. But like I was more of the like I like to control what I eat versus not eating. Like I will watch what I eat and I counted calories for like in my 20s and like did things that way. But like like I said, I'm a foodie. It never clicked with me to like not eat. That was just not
Get
a
rid
thing
of it.
for me.
Yeah,
I can't.
that's fair.
It's just
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
Yes.
yeah, my big one would have been tanning. I was a
Me
tanaholic
too.
at one point for sure. And I think about it all the time because like I don't know about you guys, but like when you have like a nice tan, I feel like I am like a goddess on a beach. Like everywhere I go, like hair is flowing. Like I just
Casper
feel
who?
1,000 times better. Yeah, look at this light. Like it's not doing me any favors. I look like a ghost at the moment. But when I had a tan, I felt the smell of tanning, lotions, everything like that was my thing.
And
I
the
loved
tingle.
Were you ever scared
Yes.
of the Final Destination movie kind of stuff though?
Yes.
Yes.
Never. I don't do the
Yes.
lay downs.
I only did stand up. I'm like, I'm not getting trapped in
this
this shit.
day.
I did lay downs and then stand ups was like super fun because that was new and like holding on
And
to
you
the
didn't have to
things and
touch
feeling
anything,
like
which I liked.
I felt like a freaking like basted turkey or like
Yeah,
chicken.
get the
Just like
armpits. Yeah.
you got to spread your legs and like be all like stand like a weirdo
And
for like
Uh-huh.
5-10 minutes.
Kind of like
No
lean
crevices.
forward so your
Yeah.
butt crack gets it too.
Sideways, because there's the odd crack where there's not light.
Holding your
So just in
Right.
holding your
case.
cheeks apart.
So the tanning era was strong. And
It was
like,
strong.
very
Playboy bunny
prominent.
stickers.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Other
that's
than
hilarious.
that, like I was a huge tomboy too. Like still
fair.
kind of am. Like I'm a
That is
sweaters,
funny.
jeans, t-shirts, leggings kind of person. Like I was the biggest tomboy, so that was my transition era too, from like liking boys, having crushes, wanting to look like a girl because that's what they like. They don't want the dude
Tomboy.
sure.
standing next to them. They want like the pretty girl. So having to wear makeup. I wore white eyeliner, thick like cream eyeliner for the
God.
longest time in the 6th and 7th grade. It is
That is
mortifying
hilarious.
to see those pictures. But yeah, my transition was nasty too. Like I had a very awkward phase in my opinion. You can see it through
Your
like my
transition,
yearbooks and
you might
stuff,
want to be
but
careful.
yes,
That just
no.
kidding.
Long live the tomboy because I still am, but like trying to figure out how to like be girly when you're like
For sure.
I was
When
had
you're
all the guy
not
friends, like I was
as
just
much.
not a
Yeah.
girl. I didn't have tons of girlfriends to emulate, but I wanted that. And I think that's the pressure of like I was huge fan of Paris Hilton at the one point and Nicole Richie and like
Yeah.
They were
I
small,
loved
small.
that aesthetic, but like knew that I look fucking
Nothing.
opposite end of the spectrum of that. Like that was just not me. I was not that skinny, tall, blonde. I have blue eyes, but that's about as far as that goes. Like my nose has always been wider. So actually more recently filters and stuff have fucked me up. If I would have had that as a kid, oh my God, I would have certainly gotten a nose job. I can almost promise you that. Cause like I just thinking about that actually filters, like, if I was a kid, that would have been dangerous.
For
It's
sure.
happening.
Very
It's happening
dangerous.
right now. These kids are going in and
Yeah.
saying, I want to look like this right
So
when they
I'm
turn that
glad
age.
I didn't have like a full, like, I have friends that did Botox and injections and stuff. I didn't have any of that. Mine was tanning when I was young, and then I fortunately, but like, boring story, I just have always been very much I'm gonna dress and do what I want and what I think is cool or whatever trendy may be, and I don't give a fuck.
That's
So
good.
It's good.
Probably
I was
didn't waste
thankful,
as much money.
and looking back, well, I still like brands, don't get me wrong, but like,
for
thinking
sure,
about thinking about it, like, I definitely took the approach of like, you don't like it, well, cool, you're not wearing it, so
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, fuck it.
I wish I could say I wasn't as influential, because I mean, like, once you just flip trends,
but
it
I
costs,
needed
but
the
if you keep the
brands
same,
for sure, like
Oh, yeah.
Bench,
Yes,
Hollister,
oh
Abercrombie, any kind of like sport, like Nike, Adidas. I fell for that shit hard, so that my influence was like brand and just wanting to be cool.
Because everybody else had it, and be judged if you didn't.
Yeah.
And it was more of an open for tomboy at that point too, right? Because you had like the heel figures and all that, like, you know, those kind of things that was
They
starting
didn't
to
have
come
to
where
be,
it's like
we didn't have skinny jeans. It was like baggy or bootleg,
big baggy, or
bootcut,
the 90s, right? Like the hip hop kind of, like, that kind of came to everyone. Yeah. The fuck.
Stepping on your pants, ripping them, getting them dirty. Loved it.
Oh my god. The flare
I'd say
pants.
my true, like, I guess the trends, recent ones, you could do, like, I have and have had a makeup collection that most people would be very surprised at, because I don't really wear any anymore. Like, I was huge into makeup, like brand, everything. I was big into the beauty influencers for a long time. That was another like body image thing of like having to look like airbrush perfect at all times, which I never could. I don't like foundation. I've never understood it. So like, I didn't like the cakey. I've never understood how some people look literally flawless with it on, because it always looked mucky on me. Like, I've spent thousands of dollars on makeup for sure. So that would be a body image thing, like recent would have been like, I'd say the last 5 years easy. Over the pandemic stopped and like don't really buy much anymore, but that's a big one.
That is a big one. That's fair. Dee, what about you, love? What are some ridiculous standards? It sounded like you were trying to maybe be Christina Aguilera too as a teenager.
Christina, Team Christina.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's funny.
Getting dirty.
That was my thought. Let's get dirty. Yeah.
Everyone wanted those leather chaps.
Yes.
Yeah, and the like dreads
that hair,
and the fucking boob thing. And I was like, I could still pull that off with no boobs, right?
Black makeup, like gothy almost, but like still sexy.
Looking so rough. Yeah, like kind of rough.
Dirty. Literally dirty.
It's literally.
For me, I mean, clothes was a big thing for sure. Like, I remember, like, my parents would take me to Value Village, and then you'd skim through the name brands so it didn't look like you were taken to Value Village and stuff like that. But then once I got into high school, my bus came so fucking early. I was so tired. I wore sweatpants every day. Literally at my prom, I won most likely to wear sweatpants to prom. Because I wore them every fucking day.
I love that.
So the clothes after, I was just like, I really don't care. But I didn't wear makeup for a long time because I was a big tomboy. But then, like, those are the only kind of people that got attention. And, like, people would be like, why aren't you wearing makeup? Not even mascara? Like, oh, you're not plucking your unibrow yet? No, I'm not, bitch. Like, you know.
Shaving your legs, shaving your armpits, like, all of that.
Yeah, just, like, little things. And it's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I should be doing that.
This is a concern? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I wore, like, the bare minimum kind of in high school. But my thing was matching my eyeshadow color to whatever I was wearing. So if I had a blue sweater, bright blue eyeshadow with the eyeliner, whatever.
I love it.
And then after high school, I really got into makeup, like Haley said there too, and spending a lot of money and like either doing my lashes or putting on fake lashes or whatnot. Tanning was a really big thing for me, like especially in high school. Oh my gosh, I was literally like a whole other race for real. Because at any time after school, I'd go lay on the grass for like 3 hours until it's not tanning time anymore. Like it was so bad. And obviously my mom's like, "You're gonna get skin cancer," right?
You're like, but I'm gonna look flawless.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna look.
I was like, yeah, but you see these tan lines? they're crazy. And then definitely being super, super skinny. Like I had mentioned before, I basically stopped eating. I only ate like maybe a tiny salad for lunch. or sometimes wouldn't even bring a lunch and just only eat like a
Diet
little bit for
culture, I think,
dinner.
peaked in the 2000s in high school
Worked
and
out
all
a
that too.
shit ton, like hours upon hours a day. Like I was probably burning 4 times the amount I was eating, and I was getting no protein or anything. I was super, super unhealthy. And then I just eventually kind of learned to love
Evie,
myself thanks to the partner I have now.
come here.
And
Nice.
now, even that I'm way bigger than I would have been even at my smallest and hated myself even the most at, like I still love myself the most now, even though I'm the
Good.
biggest I've been ever since I lost like my weight back in high school and stuff. So
I
yeah,
feel
not
age
too
definitely
much,
helps with it
not
too.
really any standards I'm trying to reach now besides health is kind of more my thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much up until a couple years ago, there was always just something, or like it was never about health. It was just trying to look the way I thought I needed to look for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Outside reasons instead of health reasons.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what a lot of people
Evie,
do too.
Hmm.
Okay, what about you, love? What are some ridiculous body standards you've tried to achieve by looking and noticing body image thoughts?
Okay, so yeah, oh my god, I had like the fucking eyebrows. My eyebrows. We're gonna talk about this because I shaved mine, and fuck my life. Like they're microbladed now, and I love them. That for me was one of the most monumental things that I ever did for myself, because it was like you can either keep drawing them on and never have them even, or you could just get them done. And when I got them done, I was like, you know what, I like my face now. I don't know why I never liked my face, but like I thought that
eyebrows
I
can do a
looked
lot for a face.
Eyebrows do a
home.
lot.
Yeah, I thought
The
I looked
absence
homeless.
of them do a lot.
Yeah,
Oh my,
that's what I mean. And so does
right?
too
Like it'd be
much.
scary.
Yeah.
Too much. And I would, yeah. So that was one thing that I always drew my eyebrows on when I was younger, and they were ridiculous. Like if you go back to, holy fuck, like the Nike check mark, but like upside down. Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Hmm.
that. And I had a weird eyeshadow phase where it was just fucking wild, and that was wild.
Love it.
I wanted to be skinny, but I had a really I had a good metabolism, and I played sports when I was a kid, so body stuff like that wasn't too crazy. I never had any curves though, so that was a weird thing. I was like, how the fuck do you get those? Like, what is that about? Like, what is a curve? I was just like a tree, like just just like up and down, just a tree.
Tree.
So.
Hey, some of them got
know,
nice knots on the side.
Kayla's out there in the trees just swaying,
Those things in the parking lot.
Yeah, the inflatable.
Yes. So I
Inflatable
think
tube bands.
Yeah.
I tried to always stay like when I was a teenager, especially being under a certain amount of like a weight.
Hmm.
And this is gonna make me throw up in my mouth saying it, but like letting guys convince me that being 100 pounds soaking wet was the hot thing when I am so much more than that. So
Mhm.
that was a weird thing, trying to stay within
Yep.
like a specific number. Like if, oh
A
my
hot
God, if I'm
weight.
For sure.
120 pounds, like, oh my God, I'm fat. Like that was weird. So trying to keep within a weight limit. And then the craziest thing that I think I ever did was take steroids and go the other direction, like complete other direction. I went from like no muscle to what
Jacked
the
as
fuck is
fuck.
actually going on?
Yeah.
Did you eat a baby? Like what is happening? So muscular, so
Is it the
muscular.
Adrenochrome.
Yeah.
And then
Straight from
I
the
had my
source.
son,
Right from
and
source.
I got curves. And so I finally understood, like, I remember I was working out when I was doing steroids. I was working out in this gym in Grand Prairie, and he had actually trained my parents. Ooh, this was super weird.
Oh, cool.
But I loved him. He was such a dope man. And he told me, he's like, go and have a baby. Like one day randomly, I'm on the stair stepper, and he's like, Kayla, go and have a baby. I'm like, excuse you? He's like, yeah, no, go have a baby. He's like, then your hips are going to widen, and you're going to have that body that everyone's going to want. You're going to have them birthing hips. And I was like,
Say them birthing hips.
holy fuck.
They came. Did they count?
They came. So
Yay!
I can't fit in certain chairs because I've got these hips, and I
Dude, pregnancy changes a body.
You wanted
Don't
to
stress
know.
out.
Now you
Don't
know.
go to the gym.
I
Just
love
get
it.
birth.
Yeah.
Just go have a baby.
Get off the
Go
Stairmaster
have a
and go
baby.
give birth.
That was another really
Sound
crazy
advice.
shift after the idea that I needed to look like I didn't have a baby.
Mhm.
That really fucked me up
Yeah.
when I had my baby, and my uterus didn't shrink, like, because I was a fucking house. And I'm proud of it. I was a house. I birthed a happy, healthy baby who was not at all any trouble. He didn't cry obsessively. He was, and they say like chubby babies are happy, like they eat, they sleep, they shit, and they're
Fatty
fine.
too, I love it.
Yeah. So
Michelin
And
baby.
Cheerios in the rolls.
that's
Yeah.
where I think it was really like I had a really hard time because I was really vain and I was really muscular, and then I got pregnant and my body changed so fucking much that it actually, I think it actually shattered me. It shattered me a bit mentally. Because here I was like looking at my image like, oh, you're perfect, you're blah blah blah, and then I got pregnant and I had stretch marks and like, oh my god, my whole world just went flip. I remember posting a picture of my body online and someone just absolutely ripping me apart, like ripping me apart, talking shitty about my stretch marks, talking shitty about the way that my
Just
body
an
looked,
absolute
and
troll.
I was so hurt. Like I was so fucking hurt. So I just hid. I was like,
Devastated.
I'm not going to wear anything revealing. I hate myself. And yeah, that was fucked. And then I started going again. I went back to the gym thinking I'm going to go back on steroids because fuck all of you people. And now I'm happy. I'm the same as Danielle. I have a boyfriend who absolutely cherishes every little thing about me. I remember the first time he touched my stretch marks, I cringed. I panicked.
For
I was
sure.
like, oh
Or
my
those
God, he's
certain
gonna.
parts of the body, even
I have a
or the
roll there. He
belly.
touched it. Oh my God, he's gonna hate me. I'm just like, I'm dead.
He found them.
Deceased.
So he tells me, he's like, I actually like to feel them. Like I like the way that they feel. I love your body. Like I have really big legs right now because I lift, but
Because you're lifting like crazy.
And they brought you
They're-
that beautiful baby boy.
they're big and I love them and he loves them. And I'm just like, I feel big and powerful. He sent me the Snapchat the other day that said thick and strong, some baby white package. He's like, look, babe, it's like you, thick and strong. And I'm like, I love you for loving me when I don't know how to love myself. You have taught me how to love myself. And I think that is one of the most beautiful things. And I'm like, whatever, girls are going to be girls. You want to be skinny, you want to be whatever. Fine. I just like, love yourself. Just love yourself. That's really,
There's
and
only
so
one
that was a
you.
long
Be good to that
tangent
one.
of life, but I did a lot of extreme shit to fit in, and to not fit in, and to be really scary. Oh, I'm gonna have big muscles
To
and
be
terrify
really
everybody.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna fuck
But,
with me
yeah.
now.
Fitting in, I'm gonna really
Yeah.
not fit in and scare the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Had to go in the opposite direction.
You want to fuck with me? Comment on my post again now.
Yeah. I'll
Right?
fucking hunt
Oh
you
my
down and
God.
knock you out.
Well, I had my partner at the time, the father of my son, was and still is an absolute savage on the internet. And I think he made that person really probably want to
Cry.
die. I think he told him to go
Probably.
kill
I hope
himself.
so.
He's like,
Yeah.
you know what? If you don't have a gun, I'll get you a gun. You can just go shoot yourself. She just had a baby. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's insane.
Honestly,
Sorry.
I feel like
Please
that
anyone.
deserves a whole episode on its own, is the way fucking mom bodies change and how like they're shamed, and if you don't end up a certain way afterwards, like your worth is like plummeted. It's like,
And
I
being
just
around other
created
girls
a
that are
whole
skinny.
ass
That someone
human
let
being.
themselves go after. Like, I hate that shit.
You can
Excuse
that is an
me?
ugly, like,
You know?
what is that
Go fuck
term? Or
yourself.
like say, you really let yourself go, or those memes of
She
like
didn't bounce
dudes saying
back.
like, like if my wife isn't sexy after having a baby and doesn't like
Literally.
get to the gym, get her body back, like I'm done, blah blah. It's like, you sound like
Suck
a
it.
child. You sound
Dad
like a boy.
bods are cool.
But
Right?
dad bods are celebrated. Mom bods, no. How dare you? Stretch marks, all the changes, like you're not allowed. But dad bods, sympathy weight, you didn't even do nothing for that bod.
We
Yeah.
bring life
But-
into the world through a portal between our legs. Like, y'all can sit down.
Yeah. I can
Be
create.
humble.
Absolutely.
I can create people.
Life
Can you
was
do
created
that?
in here.
They can now. So
Yeah.
Oh,
can give birth.
Yes, to watch out for that.
Scary part.
Uh,
Hello.
How about you, Bee?
yes, tell us.
So for myself, I think being in the opposite, kind of more.
Go.
I don't know if I've ever done anything extreme. That's not true. I think everything that I've done has been by accident, not fully understanding that that's what I'm doing. Like anything that I've done, it hasn't been because like I need to be skinny. I need to
It
be a
wasn't
certain
for like a
way
purpose.
on purpose. Like, oh, I'm not going to eat as much and then I'm going to be skinnier. It was like I'm so busy doing other things and I need to prove myself in so many other ways besides my looks that I don't have time to think about this. I need to be busy being educated and being funny and being smart and being liked, that and so if I would say that, like, I don't think I've had a eating disorder per se, but I think there's a disorder in not setting yourself up properly to be successful, whether that was by not having a foundation with my family or by proxy. But like anytime that I've been, this is the fucked up thing about like where you sort of have an eating disorder, like in a sense where it's like people comment on how thin and how skinny you are, like it's some sort of trophy or prize or goal or feat, and it's celebrated. So then you're like, if I can continue to stay this way, I'll continue to get those kind of comments. And then it's like when you're a certain size and you gain 5 or 10 pounds, it's very visible, right? So it's like if I gain 20, 30 pounds, you can see it a lot more than say someone who, not to be that way, but carries a little bit more weight. So it always has the questions. It's either you didn't eat enough or you're not eating enough, you need to eat a burger, or, oh, I see that you're eating now, and you're like,
or people think you're on drugs
shit.
if you lose weight or too skinny too.
100%. And when I was when I first started teaching cardio, very first couple of years, I was teaching 5 or 6 classes a week, not eating and lifting at the same time and working and doing photography and editing and like go, trying to get my wedding together. And I was getting married and I had this girl say to me, well, you better eat a burger if you're ever planning on having a baby. And so like comments like that always really stung because it's like,
go die.
In 1 minute in class, you're telling me, oh my gosh, I wish I could be like you. You have an amazing body. I just wish I was thin like you. But then on the outside, you'll turn around and say, well, you should eat a burger if you ever want to have a baby. I don't quite understand that. So again, your projection of your self-hatred and what you think you want from me, now I feel like shit because I've projected something in you.
Like they don't know
Comments,
like,
It's
no,
that thing.
absolutely.
It's that thing that's like, if they can't change it within 5 seconds, keep your mouth shut. Like if it's something in their
100%.
teeth, if something like on their face, like whatever. But like weight, like anything like that. Like why would you? What's the point in your comment?
100%.
Other than being a dick.
Absolutely. And I think when I grew up, I looked at two sides of my family where it's like my mom's side was very like, my grandma was very active. She ate very healthy. She was go. So she was like thinner and like in shape, and my grandpa ate really healthy. And then I looked at my dad's side and they were all bigger and they were all very sick and they were all very like stationary. And so I kind of looked like, okay, staying smaller and moving is like, that is what's going to keep me healthy. And if I sit and I stop, that's when I'm going to get sick. And so I think it like those things like being young and seeing, okay, and then my aunts and my family and all that really want to be thin. And so it's like, it's always been on my mind, but I didn't do extreme things. Like it was because always for other reasons. Like I bring lunch to school, but I was so concerned about being popular and being friends with everyone. I didn't want to go eat. I wanted to hang out with everybody. And like, I didn't want FOMO. So, like
My
that's
son
where it
right
would
now.
be. Yeah, exactly. And it's not about not eating. It wasn't like, oh, I don't want to eat this sandwich because I want to be skinny. It was, if I take time to eat this sandwich, I can't be a part of everything. And then maybe I'll get kicked out of the group or whatever it was. And then I became a smoker as a teenager, and I didn't need to eat because smoking just took away my appetite. Just smoke all day. So it's like I wasn't eating. And then, and then those habits just developed in your adult life. So I think that my lifestyle and the choices that I make have been extreme for my health and my weight and my body image. But I don't think I've ever purposely done it. It's just been by proxy, like by byproduct of what I'm doing. And I think that is an illness in itself. And I think maybe it was a subconscious thought, if like I'm always going, I'm not eating, I'm never going to gain. Right. And so where it's just totally wrong. But I also want to echo Hale's face thing, because I have had a acne my whole life. I got put on birth control to get rid of it. And I'd say that my face dysmorphia is probably worse than my body dysmorphia, because it's still here at 36. You guys can see it. I do not hide it because I don't think there's a point in doing that. But I know that I could be doing other things. Like if I have gluten, it blows up on my face. So if I had pizza last night, I know I'm going to wake up with this, you know. There's stuff that we have to kind of do now, but I also think my stomach and hormones are wrecked from birth control. So,
For sure.
you know, I think we're seeing a huge shift, and people that maybe didn't have acne problems or texture problems, now they're, because of filters, they're having a fuck ton more body dysmorphia with their faces, their lips, their everything.
Dude, uneven
So,
skin. I still always on Snapchat,
Same.
if you're snapping with me, there's a not like I'm gonna say 9.99% chance I'm using at least the natural filter, which kind of just like blurs your skin.
yeah,
For sure.
Because texture,
try not to,
discoloration,
but
any kind of uneven anything just isn't what is supposed
it's
to be.
hard.
And I hate
so
that. I
hard.
really hate that.
Yeah.
But that and the freckle one. But I love the freckle one because I love freckles.
That's so
I'm such
cute
a
on
freckle
you.
lover.
I
And
like the
think, too,
tattoo
we've all
one.
talked. Yeah,
With the
No.
neck and on the
give me
face.
a neck sleeve.
Yeah.
And I think it's fun to do those things. I think it's when you can't see yourself. You know, like I used to always like, I couldn't leave the house wearing makeup. And then I was like, you're never wearing makeup again. And I spent a whole year with nothing on my face.
Like
And
I
I was
said,
like,
as a
now-
teen, if I would have had like the makeup pressures and all that now that we
Yes.
have, like like when I was 13, I was not doing makeup like 13-year-olds do makeup today. I was, like I said, white eyeliner, like can't do mascara, like never wore lipstick because that was like, what is that? Foundation way too light or way
Eyes
too
look
dark.
different
like,
sizes because you can't get your eyeliner to match up.
yeah, like the pressures these days, I don't think I would have survived the same. Like I would not be the same person. Like the filters, the
That's
makeup.
why
like,
kids are so
just,
mentally fucked up these days.
Yeah.
And that's why they're getting Botox and plastic surgery
Body
at 20
image
because
is
they're
so
like,
different
oh, I have to
these
look like
days
this.
than it was for us. But I feel like ours was still rough. Like, yeah, we
Just
had the
different,
magazines,
yeah.
the Playboy, porn was starting to come more into play, and like the more unattainable body image of like, I guess we weren't the Kim Kardashian era. We were the skinny mini, like Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, like
Nicole Richie, Paris
supermodel,
Hilton.
America's Next Top
Nicole Richie.
Model. That's a whole
Victoria's
Oh my
Secret.
God.
whole
Like, if I can't
body
see your
image
hip
issue.
bones.
Yeah.
Oh
Watching
my
that
God,
actually,
the hip bones.
when I was like 10 to 13, watching that was probably when I would have started realizing, watching these girls, I am bigger than their biggest girl.
Yeah.
I am bigger than the plus
I
size
was
model.
gonna say,
and
when they pull
that
those out and it's like, are you fucking
killed
for real?
me. That killed me because I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
I
so
agree.
wait, I'm bigger than a plus size model. Like, how does that make sense? Like, I currently right now, after having her, I'm back down to what I was before her, but like I'm a size 12 in pants in Lululemon. Like in most places they don't even go to
Nothing
my
wrong with
size.
that.
Like I am in
That's
either the
ridiculous.
plus size. Like I hated going to stores back in the day when I was younger because like putting on, I have calves, like finding boots is still a nightmare and everything. So putting on pants for like the double zeros and all that, like
Can't even
putting on
get them
pants
past
that like
the knees.
wouldn't get past my
Me
knees, and I'm
too.
like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
what
Why is that a
this?
thing? But like I used to fit in those, and as time went on, I'd not change size, but I wouldn't fit into them anymore.
Things
like
get
they
smaller
also
for
got
sure.
smaller as
And
it
how
goes
is every
on.
store
That's-
different? Like,
I don't
why?
It's so
understand.
How are the sizes
infuriating
different? Makes no
'cause
sense.
some you fit perfect, and like I still wear American Eagle jeans because they fit me so nice.
Me
They have
too.
nice stretch, like
Curvy,
everything.
stretchy.
Like yeah, but like I wanted to wear Hollister. Well, I was bigger than the largest size at Hollister, so like I got to wear the shirts and sweaters, but I could not wear the pants. I couldn't wear the skirts. I couldn't wear their cute little like cargo pants. Like that was for me was always the hardest, is shopping, back to school shopping of any sorts, or just shopping in general. I fucking hated it because I was always on the cusp of like too big or like not. It's just I hated it. I really hated
Just
it.
not quite there.
Yeah.
That's very fair.
Average or too big. Yeah, plus size, extra large. Like I still like sometimes like Nick's family when we do like gift exchanges at Christmas, like what size are you so people know. I hate having to say like large, but I'd go extra large just because I like
Me
things
too.
a little looser.
Yeah.
Like it's just
And
always
'cause you
such
never
a,
know.
like,
Everything in XL.
yeah, they're like, oh, I got you a medium. I'm like, oh, fuck, great.
I feel
That
like I have the
sucks.
same. I feel like I have the same, but on the opposite. Everyone's like, "Oh, you must be a small or extra small," and I'll get it, and I'll be like, "This is made for a fucking child.
Yeah.
Like I'm still an
You still
adult. Like
are.
Jesus Christ." Like I love when I have one of the Okanagan shirts from I don't remember where it's from, and he didn't realize it was a kid small, and like
Oh
I
my
still
God.
fit it, but it's
Oh
like
my God, I
super
love that.
tight,
I've
or
done
it's
that
like a medium.
before.
I think it's a medium. And
It's
I'm like,
still
well, thank God I have no tits. But
clothing,
like,
I feel like was a big one. It was the
Yeah.
most like it was based around clothing, brands, fit, and all that from my body issues. Because
Yep.
going shopping with friends and they're like, "Oh my God, they got it in a medium." I'm like, "Okay,
The
but I
extra
don't
small's
need it
too
in a medium."
big. It's like, fuck
Yeah,
off.
fuck right
Yeah,
off.
like
See,
go
Well, I fit like
away.
a small,
this is
but
why I
like
didn't
you'd have
talk.
to be like a medium, right? It's like no, I wouldn't.
And now I'm like, get me a large because I don't want anything form fitting. Hales, what would you say is your relationship like currently now? I know we touched on it a little bit,
Yeah.
but like, do you feel like you're in one of the best places probably that you've been in? Or
Okay, so yes, but it's not like if you would have asked me in high school, I would have like thought you were like a sick, disturbed human being for even suggesting that I would be happy. Like in high school, peak high school, I was probably like 150 pounds. I'm gonna say this on fucking camera.
doesn't
I
matter.
am right now like I'm actually losing weight. Like I'm in the process of trying to like adjust stuff, but I'm like I fluctuate between 180 and 185 pounds.
Nothing wrong with
And
that.
I've hated that number forever. Nick used to always laugh and say 180, she's my lady, and it used to make me smile because like when I was at my heaviest at
Aw.
180, it like always broke my heart. But he's like, no, there ain't nothing wrong with that. And like now, like I said, walking around the house, hi, cool. Walking around the house now, like I'll catch a look at myself and I'm like I have to stop and be like, dude, you have to take a moment to appreciate what your body has done because one, you have had a whole ass human being. Two, I am very thankful that my body bounced back with fucking vigor. Like I was so paranoid about having a baby because I had just grown to love my body and to love my shape and to start accepting that I am not a twig. I have hips. I don't have the biggest boobs. Now after baby, I had bigger boobs than I did before. But like, I'm a pear shape. I'm not going to be a twig. Like that is just not who I am. So finally got to that. And then I'm going to have a baby and then I'm going to add potential stretch marks, fucking
Total mind fuck.
all sorts of fucking like saggy skin and like just not the same.
Saggy boobs.
Yeah, like
It's
boobs were
fine.
up
I'm like
here.
a sticky potato.
Yeah, my nipples are easily
Exactly.
3 inches lower than they used to be. Like, it's just, it changes your body in such a drastic way that, like, I was so unprepared. But now, after even having her, I would say I'm 100% in probably the best place for myself mentally.
Good.
Because
I love that.
I've further adopted my I don't give a fuck anymore. Worse now that I have her, like I have no shame. I don't care. I will leave my house in socks and Birkenstocks. You can kiss my ass and suck my dick. I don't care if it's not cool. Socks and sandals. Yeah, socks and motherfucking sandals, bitch. This is what I'm wearing. Like I have grown in my I don't give a fuck and I like what I look like. I like what I wear. I feel good about myself. So if there's one thing I could go back in time and like impress on my younger self, and I'm going to on hers, you have to be happy. I don't care if anyone else is happy. Are you happy with what you look like and how you dress and all that? Because trying to please the world as a kid was a fucking nightmare. So I am thankful for my wisdom as I've aged to this graceful 33. And yeah, everything that I've learned is just 100% way better off now than I ever was. So I would say now for sure. Best place.
Amazing. And Dee, would you say the same?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, I mean, it helps having an amazing partner who helps you love yourself more. But I do find, even ever since waking up and knowing that they want me to be unhealthy and to not love myself and all that, like it completely changed my mindset even more. And like, I used to even just get one pimple and I'd just break down and be like, oh, I look fucked, like whatever. Now I could be covered and I don't even find I look any different. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got 6 zits. I still look the same now. And like, it doesn't bother me. Like I'm, like I said, at my heaviest ever since I was like lost weight and was at my smallest at 115. And I thought I was too big then, gained weight at 130. I thought it was too big then. Like, and now I can look at myself and I mean, I'm still trying to be healthier, but I'm still like happier and have a better relationship. Even with food, like, I would be like, oh my God, I just ate a poutine. I'm going to gain 3 pounds. Like I'm, you know, and I have a worse metabolism too. But now, now I'm like, should we eat 1 bag of chips or 2 tonight?
Regaining your relationship with food and enjoying food again is
and I know
probably
to
my
not
favorite too.
Eat it all the time, but like I still do sometimes and it's fine. now, even if I'm off track, for a few days or whatever. Like, it's fine now. Where before, even
You're
if I
easier
ate
on yourself.
more than 600 calories, I'd be like, well, fuck. Now I can't eat the rest of the night. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so unhealthy, but very big 180.
I love
Good.
that. And I
Mhm.
agree. I think a lot of people did the same thing. It wasn't even like, I think a lot of people look at fitness and all that, and especially when you're not in it, and go, oh, it's so vain. It's about looking good. It's about da da da.
Yeah.
But you said when you wake up and
Health,
realize,
baby.
like, it's all about health and
Yeah.
longevity of life. And I think I've been preaching this for so long of being like, it's not about having to go to the gym and lift the
Mhm.
weights. It's just moving your body. And if that's cleaning your house extensively for a couple
Yep.
hours or going
Just
for a
Quick
walk
walk.
with
activity.
friends,
Mhm.
Just walking.
Yeah.
just something that
Mhm.
moves your body, moves all that kind of stuff, because it is going to prolong your life.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah.
if your body gets to look quote unquote better, because like I know when I'm eating my healthiest and I'm sleeping properly and I'm taking
Mhm.
care of my mental health and I'm doing stuff that's
Drinking your
creatively and I'm
water.
you drink
Yep.
water sometimes, and I'm not just sitting at home like zoned in. I know that I know what my body looks like. It responds
Mhm.
so nicely. I feel strong. I feel refreshed. I feel
Mhm.
motivated when I'm sitting at home, not moving my body, eating out of a box nonstop,
Yeah.
scrolling,
Yep.
You can
like
feel
not
it.
thinking
You
about the
feel it.
water.
Mhm.
You feel it. You drags you down. So it
Yep.
just like I'm so glad that people are actually seeing and almost like
It's a
you just got
mindset
to
thing
find
for
the way.
sure, too,
Yeah, you just got to
The
find
shift.
what it is. And if it's like a fuck the government thing and that works for
Yeah.
you
Good.
because you don't want to take care of yourself or
Even
maybe your
better.
spouse,
Mhm.
even better, right? And like, so for me, it's like I can cook for Grant, but I struggle cooking for me. So as long as I can
Yeah.
continue cooking and taking care of him, then I'll have something there for me, right?
You're a
So
byproduct of it because I hate cooking for
byproduct.
myself.
Mhm.
Yes,
I
it's
honestly do.
terrible,
Cooking for
but I
one is
know.
depressing.
Yes, absolutely. Kay, what about you now? I feel like you'll probably have to say
Um,
that so too.
yeah, it's very, very across the board, relatively the same. It's so funny. I kind of want to, I really want to talk about this because I know Brandy watched it happen a lot. Like, I've had coaches ever since I moved to the island. And the first one, I just fucked around and didn't, like, I followed her plan and it was awesome. But if I deviated, there was a lot of shame.
Mm, yeah.
And then I ended up just dropping her, and I wish I would have stuck with it. But I'm looking at her now, and I'm kind of like, "Do you though? Are you? You're good." And
You're good.
the last one that I had fucked me up. I was having this conversation with a good buddy of mine, when I was in Vancouver with my boyfriend for my birthday, and I was just like, he said, well, he's like, hey, well, we're like, send some, do a couple pictures for a baseline so we know where you're starting, and I'm like, okay. And then I was like, but I don't actually want to. And he's like, why? And I'm like, it triggers me.
Mhm.
It absolutely triggers me because then I have to look at myself and critique myself.
Mhm. And if
But
you
not only am
don't see
I
the
critiquing
results you want,
myself, I was being critiqued and I
yeah.
didn't realize how fucking bad that was.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into a competition. I'm just going to be honest. It is a lifestyle thing for me. So that was really brutal. It was like, and I feel like it's not like she wanted to be that way towards me. I feel like that's how she felt because that was her lifestyle. So it was a
Projection.
Yeah.
projection.
Yes.
And so I really hope that, she finds herself and loves herself because loving yourself is great.
Mhm.
And now I'm kind of,
Storm.
it's funny because when I started with my one buddy in 2020, I was 170 pounds. I'm 168 pounds right now, and I freaked out. And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm getting fat. Like you can see it in my face. It's
Muscle,
whatever.
baby.
Mhm.
It's I'm gaining, and like I have a really wide upper body. I have a narrow frame, like not. I'm not like the tiny waist, but like I have like that that X frame.
Yeah,
And
V.
yeah, the V taper, and that's what I
Yeah.
strive for. Like I like big lats. I used to hate that my arms, like whatever, like any kind of back roll over the
Dude,
bra.
that's
I
me
live
right
for
now.
that now. I'm
Yeah,
like,
me
Right
too.
here
let's
is
go.
my insecurity on the like highest level of
I
insecurities.
call
Is
it
like
George.
the way you look. Because if you don't stand straight and back,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
any kind of like roll or
I'm like,
like,
hey, push down into my
Side
boobs,
boob.
so it looks like I have boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god, look, I have side boob. No real boob, just side boob.
It's just
I used
that
to
It
call
was
it
weird.
George.
pushing down.
Yeah,
George.
I
I
used to
like
do
that.
chest flies. I used to be like, "Fuck you, George." Oh, fuck you. You're not doing it. I'm gonna fucking. And I just
Fuck
focus
you,
on
George.
George.
So funny.
Fuck you,
George.
George. Yeah, no,
It's
I think
weird. Like
I watched it for you, and I was like, when you came to me when you're about the end, I was like, I didn't want to say anything because it's
yeah,
like you don't really know either, right? You always hear from your
yeah,
friends, and you don't want to just assume. But sometimes I've noticed, and I've said this on my story, is that sometimes coaches forget that normal people have normal lives. And we're
Yeah.
not competitors,
Yeah.
and
The
we're
guilt
still
of it.
I
paying
don't
you,
eat, sleep,
and I
and
don't need to be
breathe the gym.
shamed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't live and breathe the
100%.
gym, and
Yeah.
I need you to guide me. And like, I get that, but that's why sometimes people say don't jump coaches, but sometimes you kind of have to wait to find someone
If
that's
you
gonna
don't
mesh.
vibe with someone too, like
Yeah.
I'm big on vibes. Like if it's just
Yeah.
not
Mm-hmm.
matching up, like it just is what it is. I'm sorry,
That's
but
even like a doctor
Yeah,
or a
there was like
massage, you know?
yeah, yeah,
that's any
yeah.
kind of
Anything.
service practitioner, any kind of
Mm-hmm.
someone that's offering you something. If you do not gel with them, that's a big thing for me. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
But I think Kayla, you're
she
doing
was.
better now, though.
Oh yeah, she was
Yeah.
good. She was good. I'm doing my own thing, but I'm also kind of just going by my buddy, like that I started training with in 2020. We just shoot shit off of each other, and he's giving me like just little tips, and basically he set me up because he's like, I know where you're at, and I feel like you're gonna just give up on the gym because this happened. It's crushing you. She was a friend, and so he's like, I'm gonna just give you a baseline workout. Do what you will. Just eat and lift. He's like, we're not trying to cut for summer. You're not trying to get
Yeah.
bikini ready. He's like, you eat, girl,
Mm-hmm.
eat.
We're
And
always
I
bikini ready.
Build. Yeah.
right?
Love to eat.
Fuck yeah. I love food. And so now I don't have a weird relationship with food, but I think it goes back to my childhood. Like honestly, I was just thinking about this. This is a really weird thing, but growing up in foster care, the first few years of my life, there wasn't a lot of food because there was, the foster people and then
Food
many kids.
scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
So I would store food in my room when I got adopted. And that's just always been a thing. I have always overeaten certain things because it's like a brain thing where I'm
Yeah.
like, I need to make sure that
A
I
fear
get
of
food.
not getting
I
to
need
eat
to survive,
again.
right?
Yeah.
So I've made peace with that, and now I'm really happy with I've been eating the same shit for like a year, and I
Good for you.
fucking love it. I love it, and I'm like, this is my fuel. I
Yeah.
have times like I get up. We all get up super early, and I go to the gym. I come home. I'm like, it's time. I gotta eat. I eat 2 breakfasts. I'm eating like 2,200 calories in a day,
Fuck yeah.
I love that.
and I love it because and the other day I went to the gym and I wore shorts and I didn't fucking care about sitting down. You know how you sit down and you get that little roll? I didn't give a fuck.
Isn't
I looked
that
around and I'm
crazy
like,
how something
look
like
at my
that can
rolls.
Yeah.
just
For me,
like
shorts roll the fuck up because my
Look at
thighs
me
rub
now.
together so much. So like
See me.
3
too.
steps,
See me.
I'm
Yeah.
pulling them down. 3 steps, I'm pulling them
Dude,
down.
I'll
I just
never
let him sit up
forget
high.
walking on a beach with Nick's family. His aunt has like a 4-finger thigh gap. It's insane. And like we're walking
What?
from one point to
Bitch,
another.
please.
We're walking down to Carmen, like wherever the
Mhm.
hell we were walking to. And my fucking thighs were
That
so
chafe
chafed,
burn. Yeah.
so sore. And I'm like
real.
kind of walking
And
bow-legged.
water
like,
makes it
holy shit.
worse.
And Nick was like, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh my God, I can't even explain to you how like painful this is. But the next day the guys all went, I think it was, Evie, can you not do that? We're sea doing, and the sand gave them all chafing on their legs, and secretly was like, I'm not the only one now,
Yeah.
because chafing pain is like
Yeah.
no other
It
the
pain
burns.
you'll
worst.
ever go
Oh
through.
my God. Yeah.
Oh
It
my
is.
God.
Yes, that's fair.
Oh.
That's and I think too, Kay, for you, it was just like because you had that a couple years ago after your accident, you couldn't lift and all that. It was just like I think it was
Holy
like
fuck,
frustrating
that
for
was a
you
wild time.
because you were like, oh, I finally got to this place where I can lift and I can do this, and then I met with this where it's just like the intensity and the level that was given to you wasn't tailored to what you needed. It was very great for someone competing and
Yeah.
all of that, but not being like, but you're a mom and you have school and you really just want someone to be accountable and make you enjoy
Something
it,
sustainable
not a drill
and like
sergeant.
long lasting that you can just do.
I'm enjoying it.
Enjoy
I'm
for
enjoying
life.
it now. And
Yeah.
like that's a funny thing too. Like I went through a crazy transition when there's 2 things that I remember monumentally. When I was 170 pounds and hated myself, got the coach, started making a change. Car accident happened and he stuck with me, and all I could do was walk. So man, you better believe I'm fucking walking. I'm out there like,
Calves
yeah,
are
fuck
huge
yeah,
'cause it's all you can do.
this is all I can do. Fuck yeah. I lost so much weight. I was like
One of
135
those
pounds.
power
And
walkers on the street.
Just
just
Jazzercise.
but then I was like, I have to be really smart about this. I know that I can't exercise, so that's when I was like, I quit drinking. I started really watching what I was eating. And then when I got pneumonia, remember that? When I got pneumonia, Brandy, and I literally almost died. I lost so much fucking weight, and my body dysmorphia was like, I went in the gym and I was like, where the fuck did my ass go? It was like a
Long back.
little
Breast-
wall.
breastfeeding
No.
did that for me. I was like, oh my
Nothing.
god,
I
I
was
have
like,
no
what's going on?
ass. Where did it appear
What's
to?
going on?
Well,
I almost want to stand up and like flex my butt, but I'm like,
Booty.
oh,
I know, we're so proud.
is that one of her candles?
Which one you got going?
I need one. I'm sorry.
maple for sure. That's the
Fucking
maple.
spider
Sorry.
bait. Blah.
Evie wants
Okay,
to
Brandy.
like. She's like walking around with it, and she keeps handing me a lighter.
Light it back up, Mom.
She's so smart.
My youngest customer.
Youngest customer, I'd say now for sure. I've loved my body more. I think the biggest feat for me is accepting my small boobs. I think that has been the biggest win.
I think your boobs are great.
Dude,
Thank you. I was
your
saying that
boobs are
today.
awesome.
We were
I
talking,
love your
thank
boobs.
you. And we're talking today about it, and we're talking about someone who got them, and he's like, but you know, you have a different case than her because your boobs are perfect. And I was like, looked at him, and I was like, that is so sweet. He's like, they fit perfectly in my hands and in my face, and so it agreed. It is a spouse that needs it, but you know, I think the biggest part of me was like, for one, I was so into fitness that I would never go and get my boobs done for that purpose. I'm a body that rejects everything, so I feel like I would have. I already kind of had an idea that breast implants would reject from my body before even knowing, and then I fell down the breast implant illness and talked to all my friends that had got them and how they felt, and even girls that have them still that were like, it didn't do anything for me that I thought it was going to. So I think that not caring about my boobs now is big. Like last year I went with a dress with no bra, like just like nipple covers and like nothing, and it sounds silly, but it is because your boobs don't look like the perfect, like they just look like tiny little boobs, and so it's like everyone knows that, and so it is a mental part. So that part I've really gotten over, and honestly, any chest machine, it's so great because it's like, fuck yeah, I don't have to
Sleeping
worry
on
about
your
my boobies being
stomach.
in the way. Sleeping on my stomach, there's definitely a lot of
You
positives.
can
But my
run
mom,
really
Yeah,
fast.
run without it hurting.
yes, yeah, look at
Aerodynamic.
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I still hold them when I jump, bitch. They still bounce a little bit. Come on. I know, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
But my mom has like triple Z boobs, right? So she's out
Yes, she
here.
does.
And so I'm like, what the fuck, SA? But she had
Titties.
always told me that like back pain, she's had surgery for it. Like she's always like, you
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want this. So I was very, but it's like, but Playboy era.
Doesn't
you
matter
want
on
your
the
do,
side
boobs,
you're
right?
on, you know, like
Yeah.
You want the opposite.
Exactly.
yeah.
And that's where I kind of learned from my mom, where I was like skinny and a twig and not happy with small boobs, and she was like a bigger voluptuous woman with big boobies and like had curves, and I was like, and she's not happy, so like we're always gonna. And then
Why
like
am I?
I had brown hair, and people that had blonde hair didn't want to be blonde and stupid, you know. So it's like, so for my boob dysmorphia gone, this is great. Bathing suit season, paddleboarding, all of it's great.
Heck yeah.
All the girls at
Fuck
the
yeah.
gym that are flat chested with their chests, and they're just so proud of it. I love you all so much. Thank you. Help me like accept that. My skin dysmorphia is better, getting better. After years of being off birth control, getting better. But I wish I was where I was with you, D, that I don't notice it, because I do, but I don't like try to cover it and like hide it, or like if I'm on here and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk this way so no one can see the nipple, like I don't hide from it anymore. But I do have some work there to do yet, which I'm very excited to continue doing. And my body dysmorphia, it comes and goes. Like I don't know if I'll ever get rid of it, because it's been so many years of like people.
You get better.
You were
at
just
managing
raised
it.
with it, you know, for so long.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think Kayla will I kind of agree to this too, especially when you're in the fitness industry. Everybody is comparing each other, whether it's
Yeah,
positive
for
or
sure.
negative. When you're in the gym, everyone is, and it's not always a bad thing. I think it's sometimes it's a good thing to be like, wow, this chick is lifting so much more, and I'm being a pussy the last 6 months. I should probably like, you know, like
Yeah.
it could be used as
Can
motivation.
be motivation,
but
yeah.
It can be motivation,
But it
other
can
times
also
when
be
you're
to your
like,
detriment too.
Yeah.
depends on where I'm at. If I'm like down or I'm having a moment and then I
Yeah.
look up and all these women are killing it, and I'm like, you're a loser. Why are you even here?
Mhm.
Like, and then I'll go home because I bundle up at the gym. I'm kind of doing this thing where like no one really knows what what looks like underneath, and maybe in the
No
sun I'll be
shape.
like, bam. No, but it's just like, it's kind of like I want to hide it just to see what, you know, it's a long game for me now. It's not like every time I lift, I'm like looking to see where my body goes. I'm like, I just did another deposit, you know, when I go look on this weekend. So I think I've done a lot of things to get myself ahead, and I still think I have a lot to do. And I think there's always going to be parts and phases of my life that I'm going to face, that I'm going to have to face it and worry about it again. Because I've been through, 100 pounds where I'm fucking so thin. You can see my abs. You can see how fucking ripped I am. Like, you can see the like side booty, like real nice, but I wasn't eating and I was 100 pounds and that like wasn't good. Where it's like I gained 150 pounds being on medication and birth control. And I was like, just so much water weight. And I was like, I just look terrible. And that wasn't great, and then now it's like, I'm great. But then all of a sudden I'll see like a little dimple of cellulite. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I think taking the pictures, like the scale doesn't trigger me anymore. Taking pictures don't trigger me anymore. Now, if I see a picture of myself, like in my thong at the beach and it's not the perfect angle, I don't freak out anymore, because I've just forced myself through it. So steps ahead than I've ever been. Still a lot of steps to go.
So proud of us all.
Yeah,
I know.
I think we've all done such a good way of like, and I think it's foolish to think that it'll completely go away. I think there's always going to be something, right?
For
and
sure.
so it's like
It's
how
residual.
you react and how you hold on
Exactly.
to it, or if you don't, or you do.
Being aware of a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go
I
to like
fight mine.
yeah, right? So you just have moments.
Yeah, I fight it because I have, and I'm still on birth control. So I'm convinced that it is literally, it fucks with me. When I get my period,
It really
it's
screwed
like I
me.
go through this stage where I'm like, I'm almost like fucking mental, like I can tell when it's happening. I'm like, you're a fucking ugly piece of shit. You're covered in cellulite. Your stretch marks are shit. Your boobs are shit. I go through like this crazy phase, but I've gotten really, really good at telling that stupid ass
Catching
little voice in the
yourself.
back of my head to shut the fuck up. I'm like,
Counter
yeah, you poop glitter. Like, you're awesome. Just keep doing it.
I truly did notice coming off birth control that like my mentality around like, just because we all gain weight around that time, water weight, like you just feel like shit.
You bloat.
It changed so drastically because I was the same. Okay, I was so like, I was just miserable for 2 weeks. Like the week before and the week during, I was just a mental case, and it has changed drastically since stopping birth control. Drastically.
I'm going to come off and have babies, so that's my plan.
Yes.
Honestly,
we're finally
like,
getting her off. Let's go to more of like an advice part. So, Hales, what are some ways that you work with your body image issues? Like, when you're feeling low, what are some ways that pull you up?
God, it's so like different. Like, obviously, like you guys have said, like Nick being a sweetheart and like he loves, like, I don't know.
Even
it's crazy. Yeah, they love you no matter what. Like, I've been super self-conscious about my new mom boobs that are like, I've always wanted cleavage. I've got like too much cleavage, if that makes sense. And like, it's a lot longer than I had ever anticipated. And like, yeah, my boobs and I are like developing a new relationship. But yeah, Nick is always first to say like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, they're awesome. Like, who are you kidding? But it's just been years of like, just, I hate saying it because it like doesn't help anyone and it's not instant gratification, but just teaching yourself and slowly taking the time to like, look, as women specifically, you have like, we are crazy on what this body can do. Like, it is insane. Like, you have to give her grace. Like, it's taken a lot of work, but the advice I would give is give yourself grace. Like, honestly, give yourself all the grace in the world, because growing up in this time that we have now more so than ever, you have everything going against you. And if you even have the slightest bit of like, I like myself, and you're not completely tearing yourself apart, like, you're winning. Like, you got to keep on it. You got to keep telling yourself, yeah, some days are rough. Some days are way worse than others. Some days you feel freaking awesome, but it's a roller coaster for a reason. Like, you go the ups, you will always come down. You'll always come back up. It's just, the best I can say is give yourself time and grace, and everything honestly works out on its own, in my opinion. I don't know. It's so hard because everyone is so different. Everyone struggles in so many different ways that like I will never understand. Like, me and Dee are like the opposite side of being K. Like, it's just, it is what it is. And like, I think that's kind of cool that we have a split of like two who have similar and two who have similar, because it is like, I have never once in my life been told, here, do you want the leftovers? Here, keep eating. You
Yeah.
need more food.
Yeah.
I've been told
Whereas
that so
B
many
has been
times.
told, and K,
Yeah.
K, like,
They're like,
here,
oh, you're
you guys need to eat
you're
all
done.
the extra because you need to gain some weight. Like,
Yeah.
it's
You're
just,
not healthy
you
and
gotta
you're
push all that shit out, and just remember that, like, your body is insane. You only have one of them, so you better treat it right. And yeah, like, give yourself a break, man. Life is hard enough as it is. You don't need to be harder on yourself.
No, that's amazing.
Especially after babies.
Yes.
Mom bod and becoming like a whole new relationship with your body has like been a very different journey. I have friends that are about to go on it that are like paranoid and terrified, and like, yeah, like, it is a very
It's
big
scary.
journey because your body does a lot. You gain a lot of new features. You look like a tiger in some cases, but it's all beautiful. If anyone says anything different, you don't need them in your life, and you can snip that shit the fuck out. Like, bye.
And they probably haven't experienced it, so they don't understand it.
Sad. Her character on her show is
to-
sad, guys.
It's sad. Yeah, it was sad. Dee, do you have to add to that? What are some things that you do for yourself to pull yourself up?
I've definitely stopped comparing myself to anybody at all. Like, don't like nobody. Don't
God,
compare yourself to
I
anybody.
wish.
Doesn't matter the sex, who they are. Like, just stop comparing yourself. Also, removing people on social media if you're a big social media user, who like only keep
Make you
people
feel
who
like
motivate
shit.
you and don't discourage you or make you feel like crap. And then, I mean, mine is my partner, but just surrounding yourself, whether it be friends or loved ones or family, but people who aren't toxic and who are going to support you and
Lift
like
you
make
up.
you feel good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what's helped me.
Like our group.
Yeah.
We all freak out.
Yeah.
We're like,
Yeah.
hold on. You're like, whoa, hold on. Shut up.
Those are some of my favorite conversations. Can I
Like,
just say
wait.
something quick? Like, or can I just...
The
you
bitch
guys,
needs
am
to
I
come
being
out.
a bitch?
I'm gonna back
Is
real
this
quick.
me? Or is like, yeah. Is
Can
it
I just be a
me,
cunt
or...
for a second?
Yeah, like, those are some of my favorite combos because it honestly is so real.
Or when one of us are
9 times out
feeling
of 10,
down.
yeah, we're thinking the same thing, just not willing to vocalize it or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I totally agree.
Mhm.
Kay, what about you, love? Do you have any to add?
Yeah, so it's funny, like, something that I did for, I think, like a literal entire year is I replaced the negative things that I was saying about myself, and I would, especially walking by the mirror, because the mirror and me were like, it was like we're magnets, but then it was like a love-hate relationship where it was like, I love to go look at myself in the mirror, but then sometimes would just
Take
literally
over.
pick myself apart. So I started saying at least 3 to 5 nice things about myself, things that I loved about myself that made me unique, like who I am. So like, I love my fucking, like, I love my face. I do. I love the shape of my face. I love that my lips are naturally big. I love my baby hips. I love my frame. Like, I would just start saying, I did for a whole year. And then I have a picture posted on my door right at eye level for right before I walk out. And it's like, why do you doubt yourself? You're like, literally, I'm going to go get it. Just give me 1 sec. I'll read it to you guys. Because I read it every morning, and I'm like, that's my reminder. Like,
Your
also, I'm wearing
conversation
shorts,
to
so-
yourself. No.
We're just going to go this way.
Excuse me, show me your... We could have got some money for OF if you just show your badge as you
us
walk
more.
by.
Yeah. It's true, though. Your
Dude, get it
conversation
out.
with yourself has to change. You have to say kinder words
For
to
sure.
yourself, for
Yes.
sure.
And I
And
think
stop
even
with
just
the instant, like,
recognizing
oh.
it.
Trying to
Yeah,
catch
Yeah.
I'm
Recognize
so
it
this,
right
I'm
away.
so that.
Yep.
This
That's
one
the
says,
biggest.
why do you doubt yourself? Don't you know how godly you are, how beautiful you are? You radiate divine energy. You are a prayer in flesh.
Cute. I like
That's
that.
I see it every day, and I'm like, that's my like,
Reminder.
you are awesome. So
Amen.
yeah, and just like, shut the voices out.
Yep.
Don't listen. Like, literally just don't fucking listen. And I like the non-comparing thing, because comparison, like, my boyfriend said
God,
this to me. He's like,
so bad.
comparison is the #1 killer of joy. And I'm like, why are you so smart?
Yeah. It's true. And Instagram, social media, and the perfect reel of everyone's life in your face.
I don't use
constantly.
filters anymore either. I don't use filters at all. I absolutely refuse to use filters. I just think that, that's a lie. I might have put one, like, I might have slid the Paris filter over my,
Or the
posting
odd little
me and
greeny
Ryan
ones
in the car
kinda
this morning,
nice.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
But
color
I
ones
like
are
the
fine.
ugly filters.
Yeah.
Yes.
The ones that make you look really fucking
Yeah.
stupid. Hold on. You
Honestly,
guys
I
gotta
have a
see
group
it.
That's
of
what makes you
friends
feel
that
better.
we communicate in the big mouth, big eye filter
Yeah.
exclusively. That's all we send each other is that one where it's like
I
your
love
mouth
it.
is huge and you have the weird like chipmunk
Yeah.
voice.
Yeah.
That's me being beautiful.
You are beautiful. I love it.
I love it.
Living my best life. Yeah, I
Girl,
just
don't get
learn to
stuck.
laugh at the little things, love yourself a little harder, and have grace, like Haley said. But
Mhm.
just like do the best that you can. And if you don't have a good day, don't beat yourself up.
Mhm.
Don't stay stuck
Yeah.
in
A
that
day.
cycle. Remind
Yes,
yourself
that's a
that
good one.
that's it's one shitty little
Mhm.
moment. Like don't let it
It's
ruin
not the
all
end of
of
the
your
world.
things. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
tough. Like it's a constant work in
Mhm.
progress. You have
Or
to
if you
constantly
accidentally
be
eat
thinking
that
about it.
brownie you
But
didn't want to eat, it's okay.
It's
I eat all the
fine.
brownies.
Yeah.
I'm about to order
It's
pizza.
okay,
Like
have another
fuck
one.
me.
You also like
Oh,
questionably shaped donuts, but we're not talking about those.
ugh,
Love
no,
donuts.
Yeah.
I love
Um,
donuts.
all amazing things, all things I do. I think I'm gonna counter and say that I do compare, but like to my past self.
Mhm.
So I
Yes,
think a
yes,
lot of
as
the
you should.
times, yeah, I think a lot of the time, and not in a bad way, in a way that it's like I'm changing that where it's like the
Seeing your
comparison is a
progress.
bad thing. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, I might sit there and say, well, my ass isn't where I needs to be. Okay, well, let's look back to a year or 2 years or 3 years ago or seven
Mm-hmm.
years ago
It's
Mm-hmm.
and see where you
changed for
were,
sure.
right?
Mhm.
And we don't exactly. And I think the biggest thing is like I try to celebrate all the wins and look for all the
Yep.
positives along the way. And so when we have our little goal chart, um, every day that I do a workout and I'm like, fuck yeah, you
Oh
did another
yes.
workout. Like,
Yeah.
it's like it's every single time celebrating those positive habits that bring you to the
Yeah.
goals
The
that you
wins.
want to without crippling you. If
Mhm.
I don't go to
Yeah.
the gym and I don't put it on there, whatever, but I know that if I go to the gym I'm going to feel better.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I've been doing this for so long now that it's just
Yes.
second nature. It's like it feels weird when we
Mhm.
don't go to the gym. So I think comparing yourself in a positive way of how where you came, like
Yeah.
that's why I always say take the fucking
Totally.
pictures,
Mhm.
even if you don't see it now, even if okay right now if you feel the worst, that is the most important time to take those pictures because
Yep.
you will
You'll
work
remember
towards your
it.
goals.
Yep.
You'll remember it or you won't, and be accountable. Like I feel like it's also we have to be adults, right? Like
Yeah.
there's having grace 100%, but then also
Hold yourself accountable.
Mhm.
be a parent to yourself,
Yep.
like
Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can eat that cake and 100% you
Mhm.
should eat the cake, but if you're eating the cake every day, it's not like, oh, you're gonna eat the cake because it's
Mhm.
fat. That's not good for your
Moderate.
body.
Maybe not the
That's
whole
not good
cake.
for
Balance.
inside. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Have a piece of the cake, and so many people are
Maybe
like,
just
oh, you can
half.
eat whatever you want. Well, everything in moderation, right? So I think it's
Yeah.
like really celebrating the things that you're doing, even if it's just like, hey, I ate a fucking salad today and I hate salad, or I drank an extra thing of water, like make it a fun thing to take
Mhm.
care of yourself. And
Yeah.
then and celebrate that, not just like, oh, when I hit 10 pounds losing weight, then I'm gonna feel good. It's like,
Go.
how about when I hit 5 workouts in a week or whatever
When
your
you can
goal
see
is,
an
I'm gonna
ab.
feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. Or
Yeah.
you could
Fuck.
feel that, that
What are
feeling where you
abs?
right, or you're like, when I get to like 20-pound dumbbells, I'm gonna be really, and like
Yeah,
Yeah.
girl.
commit yourself to goals,
Challenges,
right?
Yeah.
And
right?
Yeah.
challenges, and
Yeah.
like because you always feel good, and people don't want to do stuff because they're afraid. They're afraid of getting judged. They're afraid of like you just have to like push past, and you have to. So I think like self-compare, self-check-ins. Where are
Mhm.
you?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
if going to the gym isn't your thing, then don't do it. But can you maybe go for a hike, or could you get a bike, or could
Just
you
move
join a
your
dance
body.
Yep.
class? Yeah, like
Mhm.
how can you honor your body? And
Jumping
that's
jacks in your
I think
Yeah.
for
bedroom.
me,
Yep.
Exactly.
yes,
Running on the
absolutely.
spot.
Yes, absolutely. So we've got, giving grace to yourself and being patient. It's a long time journey. You're
Yep.
not going to get there
Yeah.
overnight, guys. It's just
Yes.
not it. Not properly, not healthy,
Yeah.
not in the
Yeah.
right ways, right? And then also like Dee said, like have the support system around you, the people around you, and don't compare
Positive
yourselves
people.
to other people. And so if you look at bikini models that are constantly in prep and you're like, I am not that body, then probably stop following them. But then you
Mhm.
could look at someone that's like maybe a power lifter that has a powerlifting body that isn't about aesthetics, and maybe
I
follow
love it.
those people
Yep.
instead. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like that just and when you're feeling good and they motivate you, then watch it. And
Yep.
then,
Yeah.
like Kay said too, like there's so much that we could be doing, little ways to change our minds. I think all of this is about
Agreed.
mindset, different mindset, right? So I think that's the biggest thing is we talk to ourselves so much. Make it a good space to be in.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up with Hales, what do you hope for the next generation? Like all of us going through the body images, what impact do you hope that we have to help the next generation not suffer from?
I feel like every other generation, the same thing, just our experience, getting to impart that on her and her generation and teach them that, yeah, like, I don't know, benefit of experience. This is the way it is. This is the outcome I had. So it does get better, but here's some ways to kind of, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be like. That's the worst part is I don't know what she's going to face. It could be like completely out of my hands and completely out of my repertoire of things to pull from. But I don't know. I'm hoping she just inherits I just don't care. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be happy doing me. Yeah, like I hope she has that and I will instill that in her hard because quite honestly, yeah, I feel like that can cover the gamut of what she'll end up getting to, you know, like the clothing, the fashion, the attitude, the
Hello, you said
the everything like that. So I just I don't know. I don't know what
totally
they're
fair.
in for, especially filters and stuff. What we're going through now is so different. If I was 13 going through this, I don't even know where I'd be. I don't know.
I know. That's totally fair. Dee, do you got anything? Anything you hope?
I hope that they don't have to continue, obviously, going through the kind of mental trauma, damage, comments, etc.
Emotional damage.
It is up to us and following generations to change the habits. So I hope that they do change and that people learn and continue to better. And if they don't, then at least that next one does. And it'll hopefully, be less and less and less. But we'll see.
Spiral, I know, right? It's so hard. I know, baby feet. How do you even focus on those baby feet in the photo?
Sure, she's video. Kicking you with them.
Kay, being a parent of, like that mid-aged boy, what are you hoping for that we can annihilate for them?
All of it. I just want him to like love himself and
all social pressures.
Yeah, right? He started like doing his own hair. Like he'll get up in the morning, he'll go in the bathroom, and he'll like
gel it up,
wet his hair, and he'll comb it. He's got my hair, so bless him. He's got mom's curly hair.
Curlies.
But the funny thing, I love him because he like looks at me, and I swear to God, I think he thinks I'm an angel. So he will get mad if I say something bad about myself. And I'm like, I don't know where you got that from, but fuck yes. Continue being that way. Because he's like, cute. I think you're so beautiful, Mom. Like he actually in it. And he's an innocent child. So it's like, that it's like, it's a real, because like I was like Brandy, I struggled having compliments. So like when people, even my boyfriend sometimes, he's like, you're beautiful. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you got something. Like what? Yeah. What? Are you her behind you? Like, what do you mean? So yeah, like it's I really hope that he continues to have that he continues to see people for who they are, for what they are, and not just the looks. Like I feel like he sees me
deeper,
which is a really cool thing. So
that's cute.
I want that for the next generation as well. I want people to I want them to love themselves, and I don't even know what's happening.
It almost looks like one of those little take my good hand.
Yeah. I at the daycare, like I pick up the little girls and I'm holding them, and I literally whisper in their ear that I love them, that they are perfect as they are. I tell them things. I'm like, don't ever let anyone tell you any different. You're courageous. You're smart. You're capable. And it's cool. Like they get so hyped when you do that. It's like, I love that.
It's crazy too. Like
I love that.
I feel like they don't hear it often enough or something. Cause I've heard from tons of people, she's so affectionate and she's so sweet. I'm like, well, like, are you not nice and affectionate and sweet with your kids? Like, is that not the way kids should? Meanwhile, she looks like miserable smacked ass. Like, good Lord. You're not selling the picture here, kid. Like,
she needs her mama. It's mama
she's
time.
Tired. It's getting supper time and bedtime here soon. She's feeling it hard.
Done, darling.
She's expiring.
Bye. She's like, we're done. Bye.
Yeah. If you hear her start saying boots, truck, and door, that means we're out of here.
We're out of here. We gotta go. I think my biggest want for the next generation is for kids to not feel, and I'm talking more like young adults, that they feel like they need to change
Yeah.
their entire look to fit in.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it so much, whether that's the gender ideology shit with the trans and stuff like that, or whether it's just girls at 20 getting so much Botox and
Yeah.
fillers. Like, we have no idea what that's going to be like.
We're
You know,
not
and they
teaching
have
them
no
to love
idea.
themselves anymore.
No, exactly. And we're not teaching them to love themselves. It's like, oh, you don't like something? Well, you could pay
Change it.
to fix
Exactly.
it, to change it. And you should, because it's accepted. And then all these women don't know what they're going through, and they don't know the side effects of Botox and fillers and breast implants and everything. Like, I don't even like putting too much makeup or you know, I think about all that, all the ways that we're like perfume and all the makeup and all the hair products and all the tanning stuff and all of this. I'm just like, it cannot be good in an excess. And I
Oh,
think we're
God,
seeing
no.
that.
Products, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I want the next generation to feel empowered to be themselves, and I think that they're going to see our generation at the tail of it trying so hard to be fake and unrealistic that hopefully that'll just like filter it in the other,
Yeah.
where it's just like, we're going to accept who we are and let's, you know, do that. And I'm not shading anybody that does that. I literally haven't because of money or whatever, but I just kept thinking I'd rather pay money to learn to love myself with a therapist than to continue be a cash cow for the beauty industry for the rest of my life. Because
Yeah.
I can't afford it. And now I don't know how women afford it. I don't know how y'all afford to get your hair, your nails, your makeup done, your, you know,
Eyelashes.
eyelashes,
That OnlyFans.
you know, eyebrows. Like, I can't afford that. I'm sorry, y'all. Inflation's too much. So I just hope natural beauty comes back a little bit.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like, you know, it's fun and the
Love
makeup is
yourself.
cool.
You are
Exactly.
unique.
Yeah.
You are an individual. You don't have to look like a carbon copy of every other
Yeah.
human
Yes.
being.
And I feel like that's where everyone's going. If they keep looking like these filters, they keep getting their faces to look like, there's going to be a big part of the generation that all
For
look
sure.
like each other.
Yep.
And people aren't going to have their unique experiences on their face. So that's what I hope. More self-love.
I agree.
Amen.
Guys, this was awesome. I feel like
I had a
everybody's
good
like, it's
time.
fun. Guys, yeah.
Oh my
See,
God,
she
you're
is
so
happy.
cute.
Oh, amazing. Is there anything that anybody wants to add that we didn't today? Any part of their experience or advice for anybody's listening? Do we feel like we
No, but I
covered
think you
everything?
should surround yourself with girls that aren't petty and assholes like these
Yeah.
three.
Remove the
and,
toxicity for sure.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
Yes,
As long as you're not
absolutely.
hanging out with
Love
people that
yourself.
make you feel like crap. Hi.
Shit, yeah, don't do that.
Oh,
Don't
no.
do that. Don't do that. Nope.
Mine.
He's like, okay, we're done. It's dinner time.
Yeah.
I will say though, I would take a time out to say I did wear the shirt, Iron Nation. So if
Iron
you're in
Nation.
the Grand Prairie or Kelowna area or in Blind Bay, they currently have 3 amazing locations. The staff is amazing. It is so clean. It smells and looks so good all the time, which I know that sounds funny, but if you've ever been to Grand Prairie Motion, you will understand the importance of a clean gym and nice equipment, right? So I just wanted to give them a shout out because I absolutely love them. I love the gym. Andy, Nick, Steph, you guys have done a great job building literally the mecca of the Okanagan.
Stand for good things.
Yes,
Yeah.
you stand for good things. You guys are great people. It's such a welcoming environment there, guys. I know there's a lot of bodybuilders, so it can be intimidating, but everyone there is so great because everyone there commits to fitness. So I just want to thank you guys, the staff as well, making me feel welcome because it makes a difference. Thanks. Evie.
Amen, Evie.
God.
I know.
Amen, girl.
Amen.
I
Go
swear,
off, girl.
you don't bring
Go
in
off.
the views. I don't know what will. My lord, child. God.
But yeah, I just want to give that shout out because I know Kayla has her gym as well. That
Absolutely.
she feels very, very comfortable at home too, and it does make a difference having an environment. Yeah, I was gonna
I
tell
had
you
a
about
shirt.
Yours too.
your true
Fuck.
shirt. Yeah.
No, but I'm wearing a cool one. It's like,
Yes.
you guys saw this. Yeah.
yeah, I love that too.
Mommy, mom, and bruh. Because I'm
We're wearing
bro.
similar
I'm bro and
bottoms
dude.
too, Kay.
Yes.
Mine are like,
Okay. Oh yeah.
I love
you want to
it.
Can I
try?
try?
There.
It's her turn.
This has been awesome.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
I
is
love
Yeah.
it.
And,
These lights on.
oh my gosh.
oh.
Try? God.
Lady, we're busy. Anyways, Kate,
Yeah.
sorry, what were you gonna say?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the
Neither.
gym though. The
Just
gym
kidding.
is awesome. The people in there are really great, and I'm highly motivated by everybody. And for the first time, I'm not like feeling like I'm in competition. There's a lot of like uplifting support there, men and women. It's a really safe environment, and they stand for good shit too because they stayed open. They never did all the bullshit, and I will support that through and through. And I love that it's private and you have to have a membership. And we got ours at we got early bird membership. So
Ooh, early
the gym, yeah.
bird.
But those people, that you guys are great. I am so grateful to have girlfriends that are so honest and real and humble, but like not afraid to cut a bitch. Um,
Yeah.
not afraid to speak your minds, but also uplift me when I'm not my best
When you
self.
need it.
And
Yeah.
I gained that with Brandy, and then it just got even better having the other two of you come along. And so that's something that's really important. Like your squad really reflects a lot of
Yeah.
shit. So
Yeah.
surround yourself with those solid ass people, or you're gonna be fucked.
Yeah, they
Agreed.
celebrate your wins with you, right? Like we're always cheering you on,
Yeah.
not being like, oh well, I'm jealous that I'm not there, so I'm not
Meh.
gonna celebrate you. We're like, oh, we're gonna celebrate you, and
Yeah.
when you're down, we're gonna lift you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Liz. I think it's time for baby to eat.
Yeah.
So I will say that is the end of this round.
Get over
Listen.
here.
What are you
Get over
doing?
here.
What is she doing?
That's my child, everyone. God.
All right, loves. This was amazing. I hope you guys
Okay.
enjoyed this episode. Body edition. We'll have the babes reuniting back for another episode. Who knows what we'll talk about next? You guys let us know what you want to talk about next. We're loving
This
it.
has been
So
awesome, though.
It's been so good. Real talk, no notes. Kind of like some notes, but not many notes.
Just
It's new for
questions,
us.
Dude,
That's
I've been
it.
writing more notes for the podcast than I ever did in school. Can I just
I
say,
know,
like,
right?
I've got like pages worth of notes for some of these shows.
I know, it's
That's
amazing.
good.
And these ones are just free talk. So, guys, as always, follow us on all the social media platforms. Turn your notification bells on. Send us messages if you want to be a part of it.
Give us some
Until next
likes.
time, guys. Yeah, give us some likes. Give us some loves. Like, I can't get a view. Let's just get her out in the algorithm. But, anyways, until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by the show today. We truly hope that you had a good time. If you liked this episode and you want to hear more, make sure to subscribe to our channels, like our episodes, and turn on those notification bells. You can find us on Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, and Google Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Until next time, guys.